get firing chains. Go. Forward. Okay, so hello, how are you doing today? Hello, Lunatic. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Welcome everyone. Hope you're doing good today. Mm, mm. So. It is once again time to play Vampirates, the masticating Scurveys of New York. I'm getting creative with these ones. My goal is to make a dumb version of the name of this game every single stream. Will I be able to do it? I don't know. Will I try to do it? Absolutely. Better now that I saw the progress and now that you're streaming. Ah, thank you, Lunatic. To be honest, I would have made the ships exploding yesterday, but I had to finish my work session a little bit earlier. Now, I don't want to get anyone too worried, but there have been some, how do you say, protests? Manifestations, some rather loud manifestations near where I live, and they're using fireworks. And they're doing that during nighttime, and it's scaring my doggo. So we haven't been really able to sit down to work properly during nighttime because of it. Like yesterday, I could get some work done because my mother helped babysit doggo, but I still couldn't really get into it because of the noise and being just worried, you know? But yeah, I need to talk to Kaiser later. I don't think I'll be able to collab with him today because of this. But yeah. Other than that, don't worry too much about it. It's gonna be fine. It's not that big a deal. It's just annoyances. So, let's get to the game. We got the Stalker, we got the Berserker, we got the Noisy Reporter, and we got Phaeton Myth. We should go with her, right? Oof, I can't hear her. Thank you, Lunatic. Other than that, I am demolished. Went back to the gym today. Starting to feel the weight of the exercises now. But I also feel pretty good, so yeah. Once again, you cross the gate of Prospect Park and head straight for where? For where? You last saw the Feral Duo. Straight for. Okay. Where you last saw the Feral Duo. Minutes pass. Finding no sign of Tamika, you begin to worry that something might have happened to her. Suddenly, you hear rustling coming from the nearby bushes, and it's not stray cat kind of rustling either. It might be a stray dog kind of rustling, or maybe a stray horse kind of rustling. Maybe it could even be a stray hippo kind of rustling. You never know. Now I can hear you, right? Hey, you in the bushes. You know I can hear you, right? And it's a guy that's having really bad diarrhea and he just starts cussing at me. The rustling stops, if only for a second. Suddenly, the bushes part, and Raoul walks out, desperately trying to look confident. Yeah, that's only because I wanted you to. It's not like I was trying to hide from you or anything. Listen, I wanted to have a word before Tan gets here. She seems to like you for whatever strange reason, but the way I see it, you're a nuisance at best. And it's not like I'm jealous or anything. I'm totally not jealous because I'm really confident in myself. Yeah, sure, whatever. So, at worst, you're a threat. You don't like me, got it. I get it, you don't like me. Forgive if I don't lose any sleep over it. Should be, because when I don't like someone, I do something about it, and it's usually not pleasant. Ow, ow, ow. Hello, Bobcat Device. Welcome to the stream. Ow. 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 One day I'll fix the hammer, I promise. That day is not today, however. Tamika is my sister, in every sense of the word that counts. How are you doing today? Welcome, welcome. We're playing Vampire Masquerade. The Cutlery of New York. Oh, that's gonna be my next title. Cutlery of New York. One eternity later. Anything happens to her that I find even remotely your fault, I'm coming after you. Is that clear? Yeah, big bro. It's clear. It's clear. There you go. Pat, pat. Good big bro. Good big bro. Crystal, no, fuck off. Crystal, now get the fuck out of my face. Yeah. Just want to make sure we understand each other. What I'm saying is, if anything happens to Tamika, I'm holding you accountable. You already said that 3 times, bro. Bro, it's okay. I speak English. I swear. All of a sudden, the sound of footsteps reaches your ears. It's just faint enough to not be ostentatious, but still loud enough to hear. You can tell that whoever's approaching wants to make their presence known. Both you and Raoul turn just in time to see Tamika emerge from behind the old sycamore tree. It's hard to tell just how long she has been listening to your conversation. In any case, she walks up and speaks, addressing to no one in particular. Did I miss anything? Not important. Nothing too important, we're just having a chat. Where are you now? She gives Raoul a scornful look, like she's about to rub his nose in his own crap. Bad Raoul! Bad Raoul! Don't shit in the kitchen! Bad Raoul! What about? Nothing. You know where to look for me, then. I'll be in the kitchen, not shitting on the floor. Sure do. And with that, Raoul takes his leave. Tamika waits in silence just long enough to make sure he can no longer hear her, and addresses you. Have a favor to ask. What is it? Okay, what is it? I have an errand to run. I was hoping you'd come with me. There's a place east of here. It's a short walk. We should be back in about maybe 3 hours. Hey, Sharky! Welcome, welcome. 3 hours? You called the Wait, we're walking? Okay. Yeah, I guess there's no way that I just don't sound like a complete office fuck. But then again, I am an office fuck, so... 3 hours? You called that short? 3 hours, huh? You called that a short walk? Sorry, I'm used to much longer distances than that. I forgot not everyone is. You think you can handle it? I mean, I don't breathe, so I guess. I'll skip it this morning. I'm doing good. How about you, Sharky? How are you doing today? I am sore. Went to the gym today. Sure, let's go. Sure, we can go now if you're ready. Well, alright. Breathe. Breathe, not breed. Although, I don't think most vampires breed either. At least I know they can't have children. And so you head toward the parking lot, accompanied by Tamika, and a lot of unanswered questions. Following Tamika's direction, you finally arrive at Evergreen Cemetery, one of the oldest burying grounds in Brooklyn. You enter through the southwestern gate and follow your companion through the sea of tombstones. It is a nice enough place as far as graveyards go, much less homogenized than the usual flat fields littered with identical markers. It has a nice atmosphere. You could see getting yourself a nice lot over here. Oh, wait. Tamika confidently presses on, swerving and weaving along the pre-programmed path. It is clear that she's been here more than a few times. Whoop. Hey, Wicked! Welcome! Welcome to the stream! Finally, she makes a sharp left and takes a few more steps down a gravel walkway, coming to a sudden stop in front of a modest headstone. The inscription reads, Luca Santiago, beloved sister and daughter, born 1991, taken from us too soon. With her eyes fixed on the gravesite, she let out an absent-minded utterance. I need a moment alone. Not long. 5 minutes at most. You look around in search of a good spot, wait for her, and pass the time. At the far end of a nearby lawn, you notice Cloud is moaning it. Don't ask. You notice a lone bench situated under a weeping willow. Suddenly, you hear voices, distant but slowly approaching. Judging by the tone and timbre, you're guessing it's a couple of teenagers out to get their late-night kicks among the dearly departed. Might be a good chance to feed. Then again, you could just pass the time walking around the area. It's actually quite nice in a dark, somber kind of way. Do we feed on teenagers? Well, if they have illicit drugs or alcohol with them, then apparently their blood type might match mine better. But they might be too healthy. Are we Jason? We're vampires. We're vampires who have a particular taste. Yeah, I think it's worth a try. Let's go. Take your time. I think I'll go grab myself a drink. Just do it quietly. I don't want any trouble. Not here. Yeah, I would pass, but see this blood splotches over here on the side? That means we're hungry. And if I pass it, too much time passes when these are here, I might kill someone on the street. And sloppily, may I add. Attacking the teens, they actually have a chance to survive, you know? You leave Tamika alone and follow the voices. Soon enough, you come upon a couple in their late teens. Judging by the thick eyeliner and the clothes, consisting mostly of black leather and lace, you'd venture a guess that they love nothing more than to meet an actual vampire. You're happy to oblige. As you emerge from the shadows, you can feel your awe intensify. The boy and the girl watch you, completely awestruck, waiting for you to approach. The slightest gesture is enough to shoo the boy away. He sits on a nearby bench and watches, completely enamored, as your lips press against the girl's neck. Oh, good thing the boy is into NTR then, I guess. It is a weird sensation to feel actual, honest-to-God pride in a victim's blood, but here you are. She's glad to have been chosen in this way. You take one look at the boy's dark brown eyes and realize he's hoping for your attention too. Something about him doesn't feel right to you, though. Instead, you decide that it's a good idea for both of them to forget the whole affair. Grabbing their attention, you focus your newly refreshed blood and will their minds to erase the last few minutes. Yeah, we got vampire neuralizers, basically. Finally, you get back to the tree and find Tamika sitting on the bench. Without a word, you sit next to her. Okay, so now I don't understand. Usually, my favorite blood type was supposed to be alcoholics, and I couldn't feed on the teen girl that one time, but now I could feed on gods. So, does that mean maybe I like depressed people? Knife and fork? Yeah, yeah. We're already done. We don't have to actually eat them. Just drink their blood, then lick the wound, and they're good to go. A little bit of a brainwashing in there, and we're good. You look over to her, doing your best not to stare. She looks down, crossing her arms and putting her hand on her shoulders. In an instant, the ferocious savage disappears, replaced by a vulnerable young woman. Think I'm done. Feel like sharing? No, but I guess I owe you an explanation. She looks away. You can tell she's struggling to open up to you, so you remain silent, trying to not make her uncomfortable. I was embraced not far from here, in this cemetery. A fitting spot, I suppose. It was close to a decade ago. I've been on the road for a couple of years at that point, hitchhiking from one town to another. New York was supposed to be just another stop. And then I met Jezebel. That's a good vampire name. She was strong, smart, independent. Seemed like someone I could trust, someone I could get close to. She never made me feel inadequate or ashamed, and she could hold her own in a fistfight too. Funny thing is, though, she only wanted to meet during nighttime. I didn't think much of it, even came up with excuses for her. Busy, eccentric, whatever worked. Until one night, she sank her teeth into my neck. She sounds like quite a gal. I'm doing great actually, but I might just leave work today. Oh, really? What happened? Hope everything's okay. Fighter, a lover, an undead abomination. She sounds like quite a gal. And I know like a ton of people on Twitter who would agree with that. She was. I honestly learned more about her after she was gone. She was the real deal. An old school gangrel, a veteran of the Battle of New York. A real, live, honest goth mommy. GF. She looks away and grows reticent for a brief moment. Anyway, she left soon after turning me. I think the conclave of Prague really shook her up. She left you alone? Wait, she left you all alone? Not exactly. There was Raoul and Luca. But we were all just pups. Sure, we were together, but still hopelessly lost. I feel like the gangrel are the vampire. They're almost werewolves. They're vampires, but they're almost werewolves in the way they are. I'm not gonna lie. I felt betrayed, furious, terrified. First I was afraid, then I terrified. Na 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 na. Luca died a few years later. Operation Lights Out, they called it. It was a coordinated assault by the Second Inquisition, a genocide by any other name. Her family got together, bought up a plot, and buried an empty casket. I guess they wanted some closure. Can't fault them for that. Even though she's not really here, I like to come and visit from time to time. It reminds me of who I am, keeps me in check, keeps the beast at bay. Also, this being the place of my embrace, you have to appreciate that level of irony. She straightens up and looks at you as if something just occurred to her. Sorry, I don't know what came over me. One minute I'm all grunts and stares, and the next I'm giving you my biography, and I didn't even sign it. How rude of me. Just hold up a sec. You got a pen? Guess I'm just tired of being scared, alone. You don't have to be alone. I used to think so, but those were simpler times. At this point, I'm just looking for something to believe in, someone I could give a damn about. Right? Relatable vampires in New York City. Ooh, shall we? This is so forward. This is... I think she won't like either of these. And this one's kind of like, eh. If I say this, she's gonna badmouth Raoul. Okay, let's make a move. Let's make a move. You got me, for whatever it's worth. She looks at you. Her mouth drops open, ever so slightly. You can tell she wasn't expecting that. Yeah, I do, don't I? You open your mouth, but before you can make a sound, Tamika motions at you to keep quiet. She lifts her head and sniffs at the air. Her ears perk up and her eyes widen. Suddenly, she pushes you with all her strength, sending you flying off the bench, just like in that vampire movie, Twilight. Lame, I should have called it Vampires Domesticating, Scordio of New Pork. Don't worry, Norix, I'll come up with a better title next time. How are you doing today? Welcome to the stream. We just got Edward Cullined. Before you even hit the ground, an immense shape flies into view and smashes down into the bench, splintering it into pieces. With the blood surging through your veins, you bounce onto your feet. You look at the mass of fur and muscle that just nearly pulverized you. The creature rears its head and gives you a deranged stare. Yo, werewolf! Werewolf, werewolf! It then turns to Tamika. She seems utterly terrified, frozen in place, as if she literally just saw a ghost. You notice the creature shift its weight, as if preparing to pounce. And the werewolf goes, "Ooh, let me glump ya, ooh." Do you think we have enough fortitude for this? Stupid shit, and they're taking in bullshit cards and RVSs. Oh, I see. That's rough, that's rough. I'm gonna... I like to abuse my powers, but I think... maybe we can get the creature's attention is probably the smartest play here. Before the monster can attack Tamika, you let out a savage yell, drawing its attention to you. Before you know it, you are lying on your back, feeling as if someone just dropped a 16-ton weight on your chest. The smell of wet fur fills your nostrils. Ooh, I glumped you instead. If anything, it would reassure Tamika. I see. Let's see, Sharky. And in less than 6 months, 2 people have been going hurt badly from falling off ladders and breaking something. Oh no! Oh no, crappy ladders. That's no good. Those are bad work conditions. It takes a second for the pain to register. But when it does... oh boy! I don't know, the way that was worded sounded funny to me. You scream, your screams echo off the surrounding tubstones. It is unlikely they have awoken the dead, but a few might have stirred their slumbers. This means... well, you know all that blood we just got from feeding? Apparently it all flew off. That's not good. Suddenly, the beast, still crouched on top of you, lets out a pained roar. In a flash of consciousness, you see Tamika hunched atop the monster's shoulders, her claws plunge into its eye sockets. Ow! Floundering like a fish out of water, the monster finally manages to shake the feral Valkyrie off his bags. The creature then turns towards you. For a second or two, it moves its mouth awkwardly, as if trying to remember how to form words. Stay out of my ground! I am Wolverine! The creature runs off towards a nearby clearing, when all of a sudden, a gunshot sends it tumbling onto the ground. A group of well-armed men in body armor emerge from the shadow, in an orderly formation and moving closer around the creature. We should run, right? They could be hunters. Hunters don't just hunt werewolves, they hunt vampires too. I know there are hunters in New York because I made a side quest that showed me they exist. Not sure what to make of what's happening. You figure it's best to get out of sight. As you start backing away into the nearby bushes, you notice Tamika following your lead. From the relatively safety of the thick foliage, you watch in silence as the group of armed men subdue the creature using steel nets and cradle prods. Oh, they're professionals. They're professionals. And I don't think they're vampires either. In the corner of your eye, you catch Tamika looking away, as if she finds this whole spectacle somehow distasteful. She speaks under her breath, her voice shaking. Can we get out of here? You see no reason to object. The walk back turns out to be a quiet and somber experience. You both walk in silence, the city, a blur of lights and cars, careening by. You look over to Tamika. She seems lost in her thoughts. Finally, you decide to break the silence. Are you gonna be alright? That thing back there really spooked you. I don't know. By the way, how's your leg? It's still not holding place. It's still snapped in two, but don't worry about it. I can hop. I still have one good leg. She catches herself and quickly attempts to hide her vulnerability. Yeah, think so. It's just that I've always heard stories about the scarred one. I never thought I'd actually run into him. The scarred one? Please elaborate? That's the only name he's known by. He's a cautionary tale for young gangrel. He's what happens when you let the beast take over. Oh, so that wasn't a werewolf. Still, they look exactly like werewolves to me. I always figured him to be more of a metaphor. Seeing him in real life is like if a Christian just happens to run into Judas Iscariot one day. And seeing him hunted down by the SI, I don't know what to think. I don't even know where to start thinking. SI? What's the SI? Deciding to give her some space, you spend the rest of the walk in silence. Soon enough, the familiar tree line of Prospect Park comes into view. You stop by the entrance nearest to Tamika's haven. She keeps walking without so much as a word or glance in your direction. She stops after several paces and turns back towards you. I'm sorry. Thank you for coming with me. But now I have a lot of shit to figure out. Once I do, I'll let you know. And with that, she disappears among the trees. Seeing no point in sticking around, you take your leave. You see her merging with the trees, just like Homer Simpson in that one gif. Now we need to rest. Oh. Did the string lag a little bit? Is the string alright? It keeps flashing. Just a second. Okay, string seems to be alright. Interesting. What was that the OBS was warning me about? I speak for the trees and the trees speak Vietnamese. Thank you, Lunatic, thank you. Okay, everything's in order. You arrive at the Lich Pitch, finding it less rowdy than the last time. Oh yeah, we got a... There was a bit of buffering there, but it's fine now. Oh, okay. Huh, interesting. Yeah, but the KPS is fine, so should be alright. And look at the arms flailing about. The bar is still packed, but the dance floor is empty tonight. Instead, the old crackling speakers are playing music that would probably sound like noise even on high-end hardware. What's my KBS? 6,174. Yeah, it's pretty good. Instead, old crackling speakers playing music probably sound nice. Where? Yeah. Mia is nowhere to be seen, but you do remember she requested that you ask for her at the bar. You approach the bar as the bartender finishes pouring a beer for an older guy in a faded, fraying Iron Maiden t-shirt. She turns to you. What can I get you? Blood! I was told to ask you about Mia. I was told to ask you about Mia at the bar. Yeah? Well, she's not in tonight. She looks you up and down, and spark of recollection shines in her eyes. Oh yeah, that's right. She takes a well-worn book from behind the counter. Some kind of young adult vampire novel? And flips through it. She produces a piece of paper from between the book's pages and passes it to you. She told me you'd be interested in reading this. You find a relatively quiet corner and take a look at the note. T wants to meet you. I'll arrange it, but you need to prove you're trustworthy. Look around the lich pit for a guy named Bruce. Buff dude, tattoo sleeve on his right arm. I'm 90% sure he's somebody's retainer, sent here to spy on us by the cam. Get me the name of his master and write it on this card, then return it to the bar. You just had to mention Twilight. Now they're gonna force you to read it. Who's gonna force me to read Twilight? Please don't. I already endured the movies for the sake of morbid curiosity. Please don't make me actually read this. It doesn't take you long to locate this Bruce guy. He sits alone in a corner, two beer glasses already empty on his table. You take a moment to consider your approach. Get him drunk and talkative. I don't know what the symbol means. The bartender, that's where she was keeping the note. Ah, yeah. Don't... Feeding time. Let me check something. Don't have, like... No symbols here. Damn, I want to know why this is red. Am I gonna get violent here? Oh well. Presents. The man immediately notices you, but doesn't move from his spot. The other seats are empty. Maybe it might break the masquerade thingy? Ah, that makes sense, When you focus the blood to boost your attractiveness, it's not just Bruce who notices you. He's into you. So are other people, doing double take as they pass your table. Hey you, have I seen you before here? Here before? It's my first night here, teehee. I don't think so, it's my first night here. Hey, I'm lucky. I'm here tonight then. Let's think about the name nicely. I know you're here because somebody asked you to spy on this place. It will make me really happy if you give me their name. What? Do you mean Sam? Dumbass. Oh. He catches himself, realizes what you're doing. His eyes darts over your shoulder. You thought you had him cornered, but he suddenly leaps over the table and in one smooth move and dashes through the sparse crowd. You catch up to him outside. He's bolting alright. Dominate! Bruce, stop! Uh-oh. I might be using too much of my powers. Simple command. Obey to the letter. You approach him and drag him to a nearby alleyway. He snaps out of your previous command, but now there are only a few meters between the two of you. How do we do this? We're practically being a double agent right now, which makes things a bit confusing. We can intimidate him, maybe. Okay, you know what? Let's do the triple agent thingy. But what if we're being watched, though? If we're being watched, this will completely blow me. I kinda wanna go with this option, though. Yeah, let's see where this takes us. Listen, your cover's blown. I was told who you are. You better come clean. Your master's name, that's all I need. Bullshit. Besides, she'd kill me if I told you. And I quite like being alive. Here's the deal. You tell me your master's name and just save yourself a world of hurt. Unless you want to exit this alley on a stretcher, you better. Whack. Bruce doesn't wait for you to finish talking. He jumps at you, kicking and punching with dizzying speed. It takes you by surprise, and he puts you on the defensive. Just as you're about to retaliate, he breaks away, jumps the fence and the end of the alley, and is gone into part of the city. Crap, we failed! Time to leave something for Mia. You borrow a pen from the bar and flip Mia's note on the other side. Sam, you know it's a she. That still leaves a lot of options. You could pull a name out of your ass or let Mia figure it out. I feel like if I just go with Samantha, she's gonna be like, what the fuck are you think you're doing? Mia asked you for a name, but all you have is a fragment and a gender. It will have to do. You jot down the note. Bruce referred to his master as Sam and called her a she. You pass the piece of paper on to the bartender. She sticks it back in the same book. Hold on a second. She wanted me to pass something on to you. She produces a cell phone from behind the counter. It's ancient, at least 15 years out of date. Alright, and this. An old charger from the piece of junk in your hand. They really did think of everything. She said she'll be in touch. It takes you a moment to remind yourself how to operate this thing, and you find out that the phone book is blank. There's no Wi-Fi connectivity and no saved messages. It's got a version of Snake though. And that's all that you truly need, isn't it? The bartender is already over on the other end of her domain, taking orders from patrons. With your anchor contact nowhere in sight, you decide to move on for the night. Hopefully, your educated guesses based on the scraps of info you collected will be enough for Mia to call you back. We are fucked, the hunger calls to you. The city skyscrapers, the seemingly never-ending sprawl of the boroughs, it's all a prison. You need to get out. You need to take back control over your life this instant. The memory of your sire's frosty blue eyes mocks you, tempts you to show your dominance, to prove that you have the guts to take what you want. Feeding, that's just the thing. Coaxing, no. Ordering a mortal to bend to your will, drinking from deep from their lifeblood. Faces pass you by, while some look more ravishing than others. Any would do right now. You compose yourself. Your rational mind fearing a blatant breach of the masquerade's temporary hold over the beast and its compulsions. Calming yourself is a small victory in itself. The semblance of command will have to do for now, but it won't last. Play Snake, worst game, there's no Snake. Snake best game. Yes. You need to quench the hunger before it overtakes you and makes you lose control. Ooh. Okay, so... Tapping on the window, a small grayish bird is flying off, a small piece of paper left on the windowsill. Prospect ASAP, 10. You had enough of Adelaide Davis. It's time to head to the Elysian and confront her with Sophie by your side. True freedom is choosing to play Snake. Okay, time to pray for feeding opportunities. As you open the blinds, you are able to spot a small grayish bird flying off into the night. Looking down, you notice a small piece of paper on the windowsill. Prospect ASAP 10. Third time's the charm, you think to yourself, as you once again cross the gate of Prospect Park and head for Tamika's Haven. To your surprise, you find her out in the open, sitting on the lawn, surrounded by a host of woodland creatures. Birds and squirrels, mostly. She's like a Disney princess. A vampire Disney princess that's also a berserker. The critters each patiently await their turn, as she flicks seeds at them. It looks almost whimsical, in a twisted sort of way. How are you holding up? Hell of a week, huh? How are you holding up? Well enough, all things considered. She scatters the remaining seeds onto the grass and hops on her feet. I've been doing some digging. The Inquisition has a safe house in Manhattan. I think that's where they're keeping him. The scarred one, I mean. I want to pay them a visit. Kill that thing and as many of those SI bastards as I can along the way. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? I know you want revenge for your sister, but at the very least it's a clear violation of the masquerade. Yeah, and that's the least of our worries. Thrown in a legion of armed goons standing in our way and an all-powerful vampire as the cherry top on it. But there's more to it than just revenge. I think it can help me find out who I really am. I know it sounds corny, and I can't really explain it better than that. Trust me, I'm not taking this lightly. It's just something I have to do, with or without you. Oh, what the hell? I'm in. Oh, what the hell? Who wants to live forever, right? I'm in. Me too. You got my ex. He emerges from the shadows, a mere few feet away from you. Son of a gun finally managed to sneak up on you. Tamika eyeballs him as he gets closer. You've seen that look before. She's clearly asserting her position, but this time it comes off as a formality, rather than an actual challenge. Revenge is the only thing that will make you complete. It's just like I said in the Count of Monte Cristo. Yes, that's exactly how the story goes. That's the moral, right? Revenge is great. How long have you been there, Raoul? Long enough. I'm still not buying the whole scarred one bullcrap, but taking a bite out of the Inquisition's collective ass is just too good to pass up. I want in. Why did your sister lie to you? We're going to believe if not your sister. Why would she lie to you? I'm sure she was actually stuck in the washing machine? The washer that one time. I never said she was lying. More like exaggerating just enough to keep me away from the action. 'Cause you know, Leo old me couldn't possibly look after himself. Now, can we move along? I'm itching to kill some SL. SI fucks or SL? I'm gonna go with SI. Tamiko? You got an opinion? Because I know who the alpha is around here. Yep. He should come with us. He's got the right to be here, to see the scarred one with his own eyes. Plus, my brother can be a pain in the ass, but he's one hell of a fighter. There you go, damn seals of approval. Settled then, let's go. Fucking finally. And with that, you leave the relative safety of Prospect Park, steeling yourself for things to come. As you get closer to your destination, you get the sneaking suspicion that Tamika's been pulling your leg. Following her lead, you take a turn from Broadway into Fort Tryon Park. Ooh, this place looks... Ooh, real cool. It doesn't seem to make sense, you think to yourself. There's only one spot between here and the Hudson River. But it can't be. Can it? Sure enough, as the stone facade of the cloisters comes into view, Tamika motions at you to keep out of sight. How the hell is this well-known tourist trap a hideout for the Second Inquisition? Oh, SI, Second Inquisition. Okay, I got it. The cloisters? Seriously? That's the Inquisition safe house? Talk about hiding in plain sight, huh? This place used to be a lot of things. Now it serves as a staging ground for the Inquisition. If my sources are to be trusted, and they usually are, they brought him here for what they call processing. My sources are the squirrels in the park. That was what I was doing. I was consulting with them. Doubt they'll keep him here for long, though. If we want to get to him, it's now or never. As if on cue, a group of armed guards walks out of the museum, pushing a gurney with a large steel container on top of it. As they wheel it out in the open, a truck approaches. the operatives start preparing to load the crate onto the vehicle. You can scan the area, trying to make a head count. Tamika beats you to it. I count at least 7, probably more inside. We should do this quietly and take them out one by one. Raoul frowns. I say we go in guns blazing, figuratively speaking. If there's more inside, let them come. The more the merrier. Let's try the stealthy approach. Tamika's right. We should get in quietly. Take them out one by one. Tamika nods in silence. Fine. Let's do this already, before you bore me to find out that. You split up, aiming to cover as much ground as possible, sticking to the shadows as you advance, keeping track of one another's progress. You hardly even notice as Tamika takes out the first guard, not a peep out of him. Trying to keep up, Raoul kills the first one to your left. He's sloppy, take his sweet-ass time bleeding the guy out. With his dying breath, the man lets out a yelp, drawing the attention of one of his comrades. With the guard fast approaching, you ponder your options. This. As the guard walks by, you leap out of the shadow and use the sharpest weapon you have on you, your fangs, to slice his throat open. With his windpipe severed, he lets out a silent gurgle as he expires. Carefully, you lay his dead body onto the dirt. Beautiful. Very quick, very effective. Looking to the side, you notice Raoul looking back at you. He nods, looking almost semi-impressed. I wonder what looking almost semi-impressed looks like. Maybe like a single brown furrowed, I guess? Maybe it looks like you just let out a silent fart and you're trying to pretend you didn't. 3 down, 4 to go. If only that counted as a feeding opportunity, at least a snack. Right, I was thinking about that. You keep a steady pace, moving across the courtyard, picking off the guards one by one, and not feeding on a single one. Tamika does her part. 3 to go. Raoul gets messy again. At least this time he's quiet. With only 2 of them left, you pick one for yourself and gesture at one of your fellow pharaohs to take care of the other. Tamika's quieter, but Raoul's closer. Which one will you choose? Raoul's gonna screw it up. Let's go, Tamika. You wave your hand at 10, pointing at her final target. She nods and starts making her way towards him. Suddenly, by virtue of sheer luck, he turns around just as she's about to pounce. His scream is quickly muffled, but still loud enough for the very last guard to hear. Oh my freaking... All 3 of you approach him. The dire reality of the situation hits him like a ton of bricks. Paralyzed with fear, he keeps shifting his aim from you to Tamika to Raoul. He's severely fucked and he knows it, and since you're standing closest to him, you might as well do the honors. Feeding time! Feeding time! I am gonna slice your throat and drink the blood out of it. Feeding time! Don't mind if I do, and I hear you may orgasm from it. You walk over to the quivering mass that mere minutes ago thought himself the toughest of the tough. Before he can react, you slap the gun out of his hand, lean in and smile. Hi! Half a second later, your fangs are already halfway to his windpipe. The blood tastes sour, with a hint of cowardice and regret. Could have gone out with a bang, chose to go out with a gurgle. Oh well. With the SI operatives taken care of, you turn your attention to the container, sitting in the middle of the courtyard. Using your combined strength, you make quick work of the steel door. Hey, he didn't make us throw up! That's great! As you walk in, the moonlight from behind you illuminates a twisted figure huddled on the floor. It is hard to believe that the thing lying before you, beaten and tortured within an inch of its own life, is the same creature you fought back at the cemetery. What the fuck is that thing over there? What the fuck? Is that a weird cat? Ma! There's a weird cat on the lawn! It's what happens when you lose control. When you let the beast take over. His lips move silently, as if searching for the right words. He looks to you, then turns to his sister, as if waiting for a sign. Then you can see he pull out his smartphone and trying to log into Google to see if he can get an online dictionary so he can find the right words. But it is too late. There's no reception. For a moment, Tamika just stands there. She looks down at the scarred one, the once fearful boogeyman, whose very mentions could strike terror in the hearts of her tribe, now reduce it to a whimpering pile of flesh. Finally, she turns to you with a look of a childish innocence, mixed with confusion. Then she looks back at the scarred one. You can tell she's lost. She's like, "We succeeded! I did not plan this far ahead." "Damn, the hell are you waiting for? Let's kill this thing and get out of here." "It's your choice, Tamika. I can't make it for you." She turns to you with a look of pride mixed with desperation. "I'm not asking you to." "Do it, then. You know he deserves it. Hell, looks like you'll be doing him a favor." He made his choice a long time ago. You don't have to. Whatever you do, there will be consequences. First one. He made his choice a long time ago, but it doesn't need to be your choice. Suddenly, the very air around you seems to thicken. You look over to Tamika. She's not quivering anymore. She walks up to the scarred one. The pitiful creature presses itself into the corner in a desperate and futile attempt to crawl away. Without a word, she grabs the creature by the ears, slinking her claws in the sides of his head. She looks at him dead in the eye. Her voice cuts through the air like cold steel. "Stay out of my territory." In one fluid motion, she rips the chain off the wall. The pitiful shadow that was once the scarred one scurries off into the night. Raoul seemed flabbergasted. "Damn, what the hell are you doing?" "Carving her own path." Standing outside the steel container, the three of you take a moment to gather your thoughts. You look at one another, at the blood staining in your hands, clothes, and faces. In the pale moonlight, it appears black and shiny, like fresh ink stain on a fresh sheet of paper. Without another word, you head back towards the city lights. The journey back takes longer than it did in the other direction. With bits and pieces of the Second Inquisition still stuck in your clothes, you decide to play it safe by sticking to the back alleys and cutting through the darker corners of the city. Tamika stays several steps ahead. Both you and Raoul are quite content to follow her lead. You can tell that these last few nights have been taking a toll on her, but not necessarily in a bad way. Necessarily. She seems stronger somehow, confident, more in tune with herself, like a true girl boss. Soon, the awkward silence proves unbearable enough that you're willing to risk making small talk with Raoul. "Oh, thank you for the pat and the stretch, Sharky. Oh, and a hydrate full care package. Thank you." Just in time too, because we're about to talk to Raoul. Let's see how this goes. Still not sure what happened back there. Think she's gonna be alright? Think she made the right choice? Think she's gonna be alright. "Yeah, think so. She's just got to figure some stuff out. Our lineage, we have a special relationship with the beast. We can either let it control us or become attuned to it. It's a constant struggle, marked with difficult choices. I think Tan just made one of them." Pondering what you just heard, the rest of the trip back barely registers. To your surprise, you suddenly find yourself back at the prospect. Like I said, they're berserker vampires. Tamika keeps walking. She strides through the park gate like a queen of old, returning after a victorious conquest. You want to call out to her, but Raoul stops you with a gesture. "Not yet. Give her some time to process all this shit. She'll let you know when she's ready. And hey, you did alright. I mean, Don't get me wrong, you're still an asshole. It's not like I'm impressed or anything. It's not like you got my back there or anything. It's not like I trust you or anything, but yeah, thanks. Alright, Raul, you tsundere piece of shit. He smiles at you. Wonders never cease. See you around. And with that, he follows in his sister's footsteps. A weird smile creeps onto your face as you meld into the New York night. You conquered the tsundere today. Good job. And now we rest. And we are not hungry anymore! Good news! A piece of paper is sticking out of your mailbox. It's a computer printout, a note and a screenshot from Google Maps. It reads, "Meet me in the indicated spot tomorrow at 10 p.m. I'll pick you up and we'll take it from there." No signature. A place is marked on the map and it's a lookout point near Pier 1, just next to the Brooklyn Bridge. You check out the phone that Mia passed on to you. No new messages, no missed call. It's a bit fishy, but there's only one way to find out who addressed this to you. Looks like tomorrow evening has been planned out for you. Well, here we go, I guess. You go downstairs as soon as you wake up. One more glance at the phone, but no news from Mia. You take the car down to Brooklyn Park in the front street and approach the meeting spot cautiously. You play it snake throughout the whole trip here. Thank God you're already dead. A figure of about Mia's size is standing there, dressed in an oversized jacket and looking out towards Manhattan. As you approach, you can hear her muttering something. Mia? Question mark. Is it true? But I do not think it is true. If they do not think it is true, then it cannot be true. And if it cannot be true, then it is true, because I don't think the truth is true, because I'm lying about the truth, because the truth is the lie, and the lie is the truth, and what is true, and what is lie, and what is lie, and what is truth, and what is lie, and what is truth, and what's lie, and what is truth. Are you the one who left the note at my apartment? The woman turns around. It is not Mia. Whoever it is, you have never seen her before. She looks perfectly plain and unmemorable. The ink on the paper, did the message leave? The ink on the paper, did your face here bring? Okay. You seem to be doing a poetry slam right now. Don't let me bother you. I'll just go away now. You turn around. 3 men, all of them burly and threatening, approaches you. One of them takes the lead. So, you got the message. I did. What now? No, you now you come with us. The boss wants to meet you. I think it was Callahan. Talking in poetry. Oh no, it's a hipster. Hipster vampires. Callahan? That's Boss Callahan to you, fuckface. I suggest you get a move on. We've got places to be. The voice of the woman keeps creeping into your consciousness, the litany of gibberish ever present throughout this entire conversation. The man cracks his knuckles. Or we can do it the hard way. And I am pretty hard. Look at my biceps. What were you thinking? Were you thinking loot things? I was talking about my biceps, dude. Wow, this is a decision. If I recall correctly, Callahan is not the one we're trying to get close to. Hold up. Maybe can I see here who was? No, unfortunately it's only for basic, not people. Yeah, so I need to in order to refresh myself, I need to like oh, I can't even go back a chapter. Okay. I think we should fight. Resist and tough it out with fortitude. You're not going down without a fight. You rush the man and hit him, bracing for an unpleasant beating. A shriek fills your head. It's the woman. She's making you feel small and weak. The two other men join in. Kicks, punches. You barely feel them. You fight back fiercely. Lands a few good hits. A baseball bat breaks on your shoulder. A poorly aimed stake scrapes your chest, lights off the ribcage, breaks onto the pavement. The wailing of the woman drowns out everything until she is all you can think of. All you can think of is that you need to make her shut up. She must obey. You're weak, bruised. They keep hitting you, and hitting you, and hitting you. You stop resisting. Finally tenderized. Go and be nice now, stupid bitch. Load her onto the boat, boys. Well, that didn't work. They drag you along. You wanted to resist, but they got you right where they want you. It will take a while for your blood to give you back the strength to fight. A rickety motorboat is awaiting at the pier, and they throw you in. The engines start. You're off to somewhere. It is hard to tell, especially after they throw a cloth bag over your head. Also, let me know if the game is loud. It just started this moaning song here. Let me know if you guys can hear me just fine. I think it's okay, but still. It takes 15 or so minutes to reach your destination, you think? The engine dies down and you are led on shore and then further up. An incline and through some overgrowth. 10 more minutes of walking, maybe, until a deep voice reaches your ears. Vincent, my dear boy, why the hood over our guest's face? Well, boss, I thought... No, that will not do. How many times do I have to repeat myself, Vincent? You don't have to think. You have to listen and do what you're told, yes? I think it's fine. Oh, good to hear, good to hear. Yes, boss. Well, take that ridiculous staff off their head, will you? The hood comes off. The owner of the deep voice is a curious sight. Dressed in what can be described as Victorian clothing, with a monocle and graying red hair. Is this Callahan? Apologies for Vincent's unacceptable behavior. He can be a little thick sometimes. Isn't that right, Vincent? Yeah, boss. Sometimes. A little. I believe you already know who I am. You're a dumb-looking motherfucker. Good. Yeah. It's not like I'm bleeding out or anything. You're Boss Callahan? Right you are, and I'm guessing you know my role in the city. I represent the anarch movement, while you, I'm not quite sure what you represent. I have invited you here to find out. Tree, damn. I think we die. We can actually die, Wicked. I don't know how this game works. I think there is a game over. So we do gotta be careful. I know, right? Look at this. This guy is straight out of the Industrial Revolution. Now, let me make myself perfectly clear. I am not that man that was visited by the three ghosts of Christmas. I have heard this many times before, but I am not Scrooge. I am disappointed in you, truly disappointed, but I arranged this meeting to allow you to make amends. First, though, I have to make sure you understand what your reflection was. So, do you know why you're here? Because I wanted to meet with Torque. Ah yes, you're not stupid. So that's a nice change of pace. Torque is the reason you're here. Or that little angry strumpet of his, I'm told. Yes, Mia. Oh, how I love to get my hands on her gaunt neck and wring it until it breaks. But see, I'm a statesman, and that's not the prudent thing to do. No, indeed, the prudent thing to do is to tolerate both her and her blasted ebony-skinned mentors of her. Ebony-skinned men? Okay, anyways. If you ask me, it all went downhill when you woman folk got voting rights. Oh no! Okay, I see the angle. This is what we're going with here. Made you believe that you were in the same level as us men. What a ridiculous notion that is. Yeah, the little sis language, we're already discussing if women should vote or not. This is an old foggy right here. Good, this is a prejudiced old foggy vampire we're dealing with. Nice. Are you finished with your disgusting rant? Oh, fledgling, you have no idea who you're messing with. It's like when Grandma says something racist on Thanksgiving. Callahan is just from a different time. Very true, very true. Except Grandpa is also an immortal vampire with superpowers. He looks at you with rage in his eyes, and you feel insignificant and vulnerable. An irrational fear takes over you. You cannot speak up against this man again. You just can't. It's too terrifying. Now that I have your full attention, I will request something from you, and you will obey me to the letter. But that comes later. First, you will answer a few questions, the first of which is, who pointed you to Mia? Nobody. It was my idea. Oh, really? And what was your intention behind the meeting? Exactly. You can't just insult a vampire lord like you can't match with their grandmas on Thanksgiving. I wanted to contact Torque. I had to go through Mia. Ah yes, the so-called veteran who loves to use his petite girl to hide behind, I hear. That would check out. What did you end up discussing? She wanted me to do her a favor. To grill a guy named Bruce about his master's name. Oh, is that so? Vincent, we know this Bruce. I don't know no Bruce, boss. Ah, if only we could find out Batman's true identity. Anyways, who is this Bruce fellow? I don't care. Why am I not surprised, Vincent? I'll investigate this myself later. See, well, that wasn't hard now, was it? Of course, I can't be sure of how much of it told me was true, and how much of it is worth about as much as yesterday night's horse shit. Which is worth much less in the horseshit market than today's night horseshit. But I'll find out, I always do. And when I do, we'll have another one of these nice talks. And maybe, just maybe, you'll avoid the upcoming pleasant episode next time. He gives Vince a sign and the burly man starts hitting you all over. You feel tit, ribs, and fingers break. Your foot is mangled under Vince's boot. Your shoulder dislocated. Your nose wrecked. That's enough, Vincent. Leave them be. He snaps his fingers in front of your face a few times and checks in if you can focus on his face. You can, but barely. Shit is quite valuable fertilizer, right? I am a man of principle. Another night I would perhaps put you in a casket, dip it in concrete and dump it in the Hudson. A favorite of mine during the roaring 20s? Ah, it's been a while. But like I mentioned before, I am nothing but prudent, and so the interests of the city's kindred must come before my own needs and wants. I will therefore let you continue your existence. Here's what I require in return for this boon. You are forbidden to meet Torque. I will keep an eye out on you, on him. If you want to go to a place with the anarchs, you go through me and only me. Got it? You have to understand what I make my associates do to you tonight was my just business. We can still work out a mutually beneficial relationship. In fact, it's either that or your final death. Time to go, Vincent. Take the boat back. Leave the fledgling here. I think they have a lot to think about. Sure thing, boss. Pleasure making your acquaintance. Callahan walks away, as do Vince and his band of thugs. You lie on the ground for a while longer, feeling the blood slowly putting your body back together. Your hunger growing. You can hear the beast calling for sustenance, for safety, for revenge. A distant but pronounced third desire. It is not until you mend yourself enough to appear more as a mugging victim than an impossibly mangled walking cadaver that you hail a passing taxi nearby and head back to your haven. The whole way you are tempted by the beast. Your driver, a 30-something with a strong Slavic accent and an unpronounceable name on his ID, keeps asking if he should drive you to the hospital. You keep declining, all the while thinking that it would only ask him to pull over for 5 minutes. You could feast on his warm blood to the beast's content, drinking whole. Nobody would know. Nobody but his wife and kids, if he has them. Nobody but his boss and co-workers. Nobody but you, as you look in the mirror tomorrow. Keeping your hunger at bay, was never before as difficult as it is tonight. The driver stops at your apartment building. There's nobody around. You can do it. Do it. Now! Now! Resist. You pay the driver and walk out. Fast. Leave the car behind. Don't look back. Look back. Walk back. Feed. No. Through the door. Up the stairs. Key in the lock. Open the apartment. Walk in. Lock yourself. The familiar four walls of your havens are a blessing. The beast inside you keeps nagging, but you keep it at bay tonight. Not a small feat given your state. You are still weak. You are not quite mended. You need a rest. Tomorrow, you will have to feed again. Tomorrow, you will have to consider your next move. Callahan is not the kind of man who quits, but tonight, you rest. Well, I guess we rest. Shit. This side quest is gonna kill me. Waking up tonight feels different for two reasons. For one, you are pleasantly surprised that your body mended reasonably well while you were resting. It comes with a caveat though. The hunger you feel is pronounced. The beast like a black dog on the edge of your vision following you. But what is truly remarkable is waking up to the tune of an old cell phone ringtone. An unknown number is calling the phone you got from Mia. You pick it up. Kept that old thing charged after all, huh? You alright? I feel like shit. No, actually I feel like shit. Look, that's too bad, but I don't really care. I was just being polite. I'm calling you with good news. Torque has agreed to meet you. There's a pub in the Bronx, Solids and Stripes. Be there tonight, 2 things. No drinking on the premises, so if you want to grab a snack, do it before setting foot on the borough. And this is an exclusively no powers meeting. We'll be rubbing shoulders with commoners the whole evening, and also we don't trust you, so keep it casual or you'll blow it. Anything you'd like to add? We should expect company. I met Callahan yesterday. He kicked my ass and forbade me from meeting Torque. Said he'd keep an eye out to make sure I comply. Silence on the line. Fuck. More silence. Can't promise you any protection on your way or the back, but at the pub you'll be in Torque's domain. For all his posturing, Callahan doesn't have the balls to strike Torque directly. We'll post additional lookouts on watch. That's the best I can do. If Callahan got under your skin, I get it. I was in that spot once or twice too. All I've got to say is, the risk is worth it. If you don't show tonight, I don't blame you. But it's a one-time offer only. You gotta hedge your bets. Just don't do anything stupid. You meet with us tonight. It's better to be in good faith. She ends the call. First things first. You take the subway to the York Street station, walk in Front Street, retrieve your car, and weigh your options while driving back to your haven. Feeding time. You've been doing this a good few nights. You're getting a feel for it. You're learning what kind of predator you are and what kind of blood you crave. You're so caught up in yesterday's problems and in this cloak and dagger debacle that you're now a part of, that the hunt feels almost automatic and casual tonight. A fragment of you surrenders control. Just minutes after you find your victim, coax them and drink from them, you find you've forgotten their face and how they were dressed. It only hits you once you look at yourself in the car's rearview mirrors. This was wrong. You can't let this become the norm. You hurt somebody, a human being. You're a monster. You need to stay mindful of this. You're a monster, but unless you let yourself off the hook, you can hold on to your humanity or not let yourself slide down the spiral. Instead of clearing your mind, this clouded it further, and you are still no closer to a decision. Man, I feel like I'm only alive because Sophie thinks I'm useful. And if I say, you know that thing you wanted me to do? I kinda can't. Then I'm not gonna be useful. And then she's gonna murder me. And also, hold up just a second here. Let me see something. Ah, okay. I thought I saw an Ninjaling that asked for a hat, but they're not here. So, drive around, try to spot a tail is my suggestion. A tail? Like a car tail? Should I chase my own tail? Is that an option? Should I chase my own tail? Let me think. Should I chase my own tail? I mean, my tail is right over there. I could try chasing it. But should I chase my own tail? Will this help somehow? Will chasing my own tail help somehow? Let me see. Tail, come here, tail. 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 Come back, tail. Tail, come back. Come back, tail. Come back. Come back, tail. Tail. I can chase my tail. Guys, I can chase my tail and I try to get back to it. Oh, I even... Hold up. See, even my sprite tried to chase the tail and it couldn't. See? Hey Kitty, welcome to the stream. You came in a great time. You can't get your tail, but you are chasing it. That is true. Okay, maybe if we drive around, we can find someone chasing us. Yeah, let's do this. You do intend to visit Torque tonight, but you decide to drive around a bit first. Something tells you there might be somebody tailing you. Wait, you can't grab your own tail. Not with my head, at least. I was already here, only now I decided to chat as I was eating. Ah, I see. Hope you had a nice meal. See? Something tells you there might be somebody tailing you. It sounds sensible to try and lose them. You spend a good 2 hours looking in the rearview mirror and driving all over the city before finally driving into the Bronx. I can love, but my tail is up long. Ooh, I dig the... By the way, I dig the art on this scenery so freaking much. This red moon is so cool. Look at that. You take some basic precautions as you enter Torque's turf. You park a few streets over from where the pub is and walk towards it, while keeping an eye out for anyone suspicious. My tail lives in Australia, so I can't chase them at the moment. My dinner was good and very spicy. Ooh, what did you have? Do I technically have a tail? Ghosts kinda have tails, don't they, Lunatic? They kinda do. That kindred, for the most part, looks no different than regular people. Makes things complicated, of course. If you're being followed or watched, it's going to be hard to tell. You reach the pub, shoot a final glance around. There's nobody suspicious around as far as you can see, and open the door. This is as far as you can see. You know when you roll for perception check and your DM tells you exactly this and refuses to let you know what the result was? You know you're fucked. You know you're fucked. Pasta was hot. Ah, pasta, nice. When you run at one, exactly. Someone totally followed us. I know that feeling all too well. The sinking feeling. Or when you roll the stealth check and the DM is like, as far as you know, you've been completely silent. I thought the sirens were real for a second. What's your passive perception again? The player's concerned. The smell of cigarettes is overwhelming. The whole place has an aura about it. A constant fog hanging right under the ceiling. The lethargic fans do nothing to disperse it. The constant crack of billiard balls and clinking of glasses tell you all you need to know about the clientele. Not a very vampiric place at all. You're wondering if you got the address right. The name of the bar seems to be named Cheers, and they are all singing about how they know your name and they're all glad you came. And you wanna be where people know, and their troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. And nobody gets the reference. Moving on. You apparently did. Mia's here. She motions you over to one of the few tables around. Took your sweet time to get here. What, got cold feet? Never mind. Anyone follow you? Cheers. Hey, wicked nose. I know. Maybe. I don't know. The DM won't tell me. Maybe. Not that I know of. Weren't you supposed to place lookouts? Weren't you supposed to place lookouts to verify that? We did. We got word of your coming a few minutes ago. I'm just checking if you paid attention. Nobody gets the reference. I am the nobody. Oh. Before I introduce you, there's some outstanding business to discuss. You didn't prove very helpful at the bar. Carol, the bartender, mentioned that you made an effort, but as you can imagine, there's plenty of licks who use feminine pronouns in the city. Still, I'll take whatever I can get. So thanks for that, I guess. Come on, Dark's right here, there. You walk over to one of the tables. A guy in a coat and a hat leans over and takes his shot. He is way ahead of his opponent. The table is clear of his balls, save for the table. The table is clear of his balls. He's very polite. He doesn't put his balls on the table, save for the 8 ball in a tricky position. Hey, they're here. Be with you in just a moment. He hits it fast, precise, and sets the black ball exactly where its players wanted it. His opponent lets out a frustrated sigh. Oh, stee. Yeah, it's very highbrow humor here. Only highbrow humor in this channel. That's that. I believe that's 150 American dollars, Joey. You wanna pay up now, or do you wanna up the stakes again? The disgruntled man accepts his defeat and pays up, then declares he's going to grab another beer. To the victors go the spoils, thank you kindly. He turns his full attention to you. The man is good looking, if somewhat gaudy and intense. His eyes especially seem to pierce right through your core, but not in an unpleasant way. You know, you get pierced in a pleasant way. Name's Stork. I believe you're Beebs, Sophie Langley's new plaything, is that right? Wait. Plaything? No. How does everybody always know that? Lennox too? How does everybody always knows that? Word travels fast, if you care to listen, fledgling. We wouldn't be talking tonight if I hadn't learned that a long time ago. Forgive my being real with you right off the bat, but I like to know who I'm dealing with. So if there's something that I've been scratching my head about. If you're with Langley, and Langley's scam true and true, I'm told, what is it that you come to accomplish here tonight? Here to spite Callahan. Sophie wants to meet you too. Don't ask why, she didn't tell me. She just said it has something to do with gathering allies against Boss Callahan. I'm here to arrange that meeting. The fuck? I knew nothing about this. T, they lied to me. Mia's furious. She's looking at the pool cue, and you as if she was figuring out the best combination for the two. It's fine. I appreciate the honesty, even if you weren't straight with my second command. That I don't appreciate. Well, ain't that an interesting proposition? Can't be seriously thinking about meeting with Langley. She's hardline can. It's a trap. It must be. It just might be. It just might be. He looks at you, pierces you with his unnatural keen eyes. He's about to say something when a door opens at the back of the room. Hey, Torque, you, got a guest. He's in the back. Mia, won't you be a dear and keep our new friend company? I'll see what the commotion is. Sure thing. Torque tips his hat to you and walks to the back, joining the man who called for him. Torque goes, "Milady," and then leaves. Mia glowers to you, this time weighting one of the pool balls in her hand. She looks like she has half a mind to chunk it at your face. You gotta be quite helpless yourself bluffing your way in here. I'm curious about number 3. Now I'm laughing at the idea of a vampire neckbeard. I mean, it could happen. If the vampire who embraces the neckbeard has, like, no taste. It could happen. I mean, can you imagine? But I don't think the stereotype would actually last very long, because the power would go over to their head and they would get themselves executed really quickly, right? It's not just Sophie I'm here for. What does this even mean? Sorry it had to be this way. Let's go. Let's be polite. How do you ever get to even be a vampire, the neckbeard protecting your throat? Yeah, I don't think that would be too pleasant. I wish I did this differently, but it is what it is. I'm not proud of myself. Shouldn't be. You made me look like a chump in front of Dark. I was beginning to think you might make a good addition to a little family. Here's a whole lot of trust you'll have to regain before that happens now. Torque appears from the door at the back and calls across the room. Yo, Mia! Can I grab you for a second? Babes, get over here too. You go to the back room. It's basically a storage area with a single wooden desk. It's pretty cramped, especially considering there's 5 other people in there with you. Cool! Meeting in the broom closet. Let's go! Torque ushers you in and closes the door behind you, and Mia. 2 burly dudes are holding somebody down. A familiar voice reaches your ears. Motherfucker, you're gonna pay for this, you hear me? The boss is going to fuck you up so bad, you have no idea. Have you had the doubtful pleasure of meeting Mr. Cerruti before, Bibbs? I have a score to settle. With this fucker. Hope that's the centipede cabinet they got. That game rocks. You're fucked. You're so fucked. You don't even know it. You stupid piece of shit. You should have ended you yesterday. When the boss told you to stay away, you should have listened. That's a story and a half, ain't it, Vince? Calm down now and tell me how many of you guys are still out there in my turf, Go fuck yourself. You're done. The boss will know the stupid piece of shit fledgling came here. He knows they're with Langley. You know what that means to work. No, I don't. What does it mean, Vince? Though if it's in the back, it's probably broken. Damn. Now, the boss can wipe you out. He's just say you're sucking Langley's tit, and all those buddies of yours, gone. You're done to work. Well, now language, my young man. If that's the case, I guess riding in New York City on your toady ass won't make things any worse, will it? Actually, there's an idea. Vince mentioned that he beat you up yesterday. Did I hear that right, babes? You want to repay the favor? Gladly. Go right ahead. Hurt Vince. A lot. You hit Vince once, twice. He's struggling in the beginning, but you focus your blood for some extra oomph and keep hitting him. Again, more, until he stops laughing. His brew is battered and broken. The 2 anarch dudes let go of him, and you kick him some more while he's on the floor. You only stop when you hear Torque's voice. Enough's enough, Beebs. He takes an old poke you and breaks it over his knee. Stake him and take him downstairs. Let's keep Callaghan guessing about what happened to his favorite puppy. Mia takes the sharp piece of wood and jams it into Vince's chest. His features grow slack, his entire body inert. He doesn't even give out a yelp. The other 2 anarchs take him out of the room. As entertaining as that was, I think Vince, in his unmatched wisdom, shared more than Callaghan would hope for. This changes things. Ever heard about Operation Lights Out, Beebs? It was a second Inquisition effort here in New York City. Single night of raids at a magnitude never seen before, or since. You could say these raids were made in the shadows, and they were legendary, let me tell you. The Ivory Tower got away with just a few losses here and there. No major players were hit. They managed to find safe spots and stay out of the eyes of the shitstorm. As though, we got hit hard all over town. Events were rooted out, entire coteries and safe houses gone, just like that. Nobody saw it coming. Barely got out in one piece. Mia looks at him with concern and puts a hand on his arm. He shrugs it off, gently but surely. Others, like my child Barb or Mia Sire, distinguished. But you know who's got out with a scratch? Callahan. We've thought about it for the past few years. How is it that Big B's managed to excuse himself from Staten Island Museum where we used to meet, just before a van full of guys in body armor showed up? How is it that my baby is burning up after being shot with incendiary rounds? Also see Doug Callahan running with his tail between his legs, pushing fledglings like you in the path of the SI. Which brings us to today's sponsor, which never sponsored this channel. Actually, I haven't seen many ads from them lately. I've seen an ad from them recently that had the guy from Jurassic Park. I forgot his name though. It was the guy that did the thing with the chaos theory and putting a little drop of water and it would go in the... Yeah, Goldblum, Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. I saw an ad recently where Jeff Goldblum is recruiting champions for his raid party and they get wiped. And don't play Raid Shadow Legends, it's a horrible game. So anyways, we think the bastard knew what was coming and he set us up. Not just us, some of our brothers and sisters who got hit had some of the lowest profiles in the city's Licks population. That one I saw, it was like a month ago. Yeah, that was the most recent one, I think. More of the story? Callahan's an opportunistic motherfucker, and even his thickest follows suggest that he's going to sell me out. Then that's what he's going to do, as sure as the sun rises. He pauses for a moment, and you see him reach a decision. You said something about Langley having an offer for me. It might be your fault in part at this juncture, but now it's going to be as good time as any for me to listen to what she has to say. And think that's wise, T. Well, what will you have me do then? Said it yourself. It's all this fledgling's fault. They brought this up on us, so let's use them as a bargaining chip. Callahan wants them. Langley needs them. They're valuable. I'm sorry, but don't sell me out. What the fuck, Mia? Me valuable? I'm just a pawn. No, you're wrong. I'm just a pawn. That's why Sophie sent me here. Plausible deniability and all that. I'm expendable. The realization that you just summarized the entirety of the last 2 weeks or so hit you so hard. But if there was a moment to be honest with yourself, it's now. Fuck. The man puts his hand on Mia's shoulder. She calms down a bit. We're afraid, Beeves, but then, what else is new? It's a paradox being who we are. The hunter one night, the hunted another. Masters of the night, slaves to dawn. A duality to everything. It's like we're cats or something. I hate Mia hairstyle. Rip a new hole into the ozone layer without that hairspray. She has pretty voluminous hair, but there was a character who had worse hair. It looked like the hair was standing up and trying to hiss at us. Mia, I understand your concern, but I need you to trust me like you did before. This is my cow and my responsibility. You can give me shit about it later, like I'm sure you will. Count on it. He smiles, then takes on a no bullshit look and points at you. 3 conditions. First condition. You come to pick me up, personally, and bring me to the meeting spot. Anything goes sideways, it's your ass. Second, Mia's coming with me, no 2 ways about it. 8 eyeballs in the meeting, the 2 of you, the 2 of us, nobody else. And third, the meeting is in public, downtown, some spots frequented by mortals. We see you take us anywhere fishy. We check out and fuck you as a message to Langley. I count on it not coming to that though. You saying likable enough? The can hasn't gotten its talons in on you yet. Keep it up and maybe you come to the same conclusion we did in your own time. I repeat your conditions to Sophie. I'll make sure to repeat your conditions to Sophie. You do that. Best be on your ways. As for me here and when you need me, the bartender knows how to get in touch. Just ask him and put the honor on the line. Oh, I see. Mia walks you to the door and accompanies you to your car. Listen, about what I said before. Yeah, what about it? I panicked. That's all that it was. It wasn't fair. What I said. If anything, it's my fault. I'm angry with myself, and that makes me angry with you. Ah, forget it. See ya. She starts walking back to the bar as you start the engine and head back to Sophie's apartment. Time to give Sophie the good news. She welcomes you as openly as ever, clearly excited to see you and for what news you might bring. Good evening, babes. How is your task going? You have something for me, perhaps? I did what you asked. The meeting is set up. Excellent. Experience any problems? Boss Callahan's goons grabbed me yesterday and forced me to meet with him. It was very clear that I cannot be seen talking to Torque, or he'll have me killed. I went and did it anyway. I appreciate your dedication, I really do. I'm sorry if you got hurt. Thank you for following through. Well, let's hear it. What did Torque agree to? You relay the Annex leader's condition. You are to pick him and Mia's up. The meeting should only include the four of you, and it should be held in a public space. Oh dear, hold up just a second, or Lila is going to actually destroy a part of my door. Just a second. Be right back. Hey, I'm back. Okay, so where were we? You relay the Annex leader's condition. You are to pick him and me up. The meeting should only include the four of you, and it should be held in a public space. Those are all fair enough, although I do worry about that Mia character. Tell me, do you think she's trustworthy? She did try to sell me out. She tried to convince Torque to sell me out to Callahan, so I don't trust her. Wait, there's no shuriken scarf, that's not the real. Oh, hey. Yeah, my shuriken comes off. For anyone who hasn't noticed, I can... Hold up. I'm not going to turn it off now because I have to do a lot of things, but basically it does come off. I can use it on my back if I want to. Is that so? Well, if that's the case, then I suggest you keep a close eye on her during the meeting. I'd negotiate to cut her out entirely, but we're on a tight schedule. As for the place, I wonder if they would agree to meeting in Hudson Yards, the vessel. Plenty of tourists visit the place, but if you go there after midnight, we may just turn into a pumpkin. She seems to have made up her mind. Yes, bring it in here tomorrow night. Look for me near the top level. Would they agree to tomorrow, Susan? What will you discuss with him? What's so important that you just can't send him a letter or something? You'll be there to find out. Pick them up at midnight, then drive back to Midtown. That's the plan. I'll be waiting as long as it takes, within reason. I'm counting on you, Beebs. The final puzzle piece is about to find its way to its destination. After that, we'll all get our just reward. You, me, the Camarilla, even the Anarchs. I could just kiss you. Yes, you'd like that. You desire it. She must have caught it in your expression. She smiles. I figure speech, darling. At least it is tonight. But a few nights from now, who knows? I'm growing fond of you, and success whets my appetites for these kinds of things. The sexual tension in this room becomes unbearable until it suddenly disappears. Was this another one of Sophie's tricks? Or an actual spark of arousal in both of your undead bodies? Ooh! You certainly felt the blood flow through you for a short moment. The warmth in your groin takes you by surprise. You didn't think you could do that anymore. Or did you just imagine it? Ghost orgasms! Spark, spark. Use the rest of the night well, Beeves, and rest. We are but a day's sleep away from shaking the city awake. Ooh. Okay. Sophie's cool. She is, but she is also very dodgy. But I guess that's just being a vampire. Moving on. Let's see if we can finish her quest line. Immediately after you enter the park, you can tell that something's wrong. An odd silence hangs in the air, like the silence from a choking victim after the fight leaves them. What a beautiful analogy that you just thought of. You really are becoming a monster, aren't you? So, Miss... What was her name again? Beebs. Miss Beebs. Yes. Ghostgasm. Ghostgasm! It doesn't take you long to find Tamika. You see her in the distance, leaning against a tree. The truth about ectoplasms and ghostgasms tonight on the History Channel. As you make your way towards her, she puts her finger on her lips. Only then do you notice the blood dripping from her side. You pick her up, letting her lean on you. She looks at you, her eyes wild with fear and rage. They're here! The Inquisition, they found us! Oh, he drilled them away, saved my ass. He's still out there. We need to go. We need to help him. Sure you're up to it? Looks like they banged you up pretty hard. And fight! A twinge of pain takes her breath away. Fine. You're barely standing. I won't let you get yourself killed. I'm going. You wanna stop me? Might as well kill me now. Through sheer force of will, she manages to straighten herself up. Let's fucking do this! You head deeper into the park. Soon you stumble upon a set of innocuous barriers. Service vehicles. Black and yellow caution tapes. Men in work suits that keep civilians out of a certain area. It's not all that difficult for a creature of the night to avoid these. You almost think that their presence is here is accidental, but once you spot black vans deeper in, you get a foreboding feeling. Tamika grabs your shoulder and squeezes hard. Hold up, there! You have to squint to see it. 2 SI scouts have taken tactical positions between the trees. There's no way in hell you'd have noticed it then or hidden time if Tamika hadn't alerted you to you. Body armor, camo, night vision goggles, rifles, semi-auto shotguns, some equipment you can't even name. These guys mean business. There's no time. She's getting ready to just pounce on them. Consequences be damned. You need to think and fast. Shoo! I think Tamika is gonna fail her roll if she attacks, because she's very wounded. Maybe we should draw their attention away. Yelling at the top of your lungs, you rush at the men, forcing both of them to focus their fire on you. The first one falls before he's able to pull the trigger. The second one takes aim. Suddenly, you realize you might have bitten off more than you can chew. Uh-oh. Reflexively, you squint, waiting for the bullets to tear through your flesh. To your surprise, no shots are fired. You open your eyes and see Tamika standing over the would-be assailant. She flicks her wrist, sprinkling the grass under her feet with the man's blood. Good. She made a stealth attack while I was driving their attention away from her. Perfect. Don't steal my kills, she said as a professional League of Legends player. All things considered, she seemed to be doing alright. You keep on moving. Tamika gestures at the nearest patch of trees. Stick to the shadows. Take them one at a time. Sound advice. You take it to heart as you move on towards Tamika's haven. It doesn't take long for you to run across more of them. 3 operatives in full riot gears are running down a park alley, sweeping the area with a barrel-mounted flashlight. Your intimidation gave her a roll advantage. Exactly. Just as we planned. Yes, planned. Anyways, keeping very still and very quiet, you wait for them to approach. Tamika approaches you from the bushes nearby, clearly waiting to follow your lead. Try to take 2 of them out. As the first victim marches past, you lunge at him, sinking your teeth in his neck. In one sudden motion, you rip apart a chunk of flesh from his throat. Quickly before the other 2 can react, you run at them, full speed. Just as you're about to take the first one out, Tamika pounces from the side, taking him out in an instant. As soon as she lands, she springs back towards the other one. A single slash of her claws is all it takes. The man's body falls to the ground. After a second or 2, his head follows. We're practically doing wolf hunt strategies here. You raise an eyebrow at Tamika. She hits back with a roguish grin. 2 to 1. She is a League of Legends player. No time to savor your victory. A savage yell rings from across the tree lines. You know that voice, Raoul. Wolf hunting pack arisen, exactly. Tamika throws herself towards where it came from. It's almost unbelievable how fast she moves, considering the state she's in. You're barely able to keep up. Mere seconds later, you find yourselves under a cover of a rose bush, giving you a clear view of a nearby clearing, and also a pretty night smell. Off in the distance, you spot a ground of gunmen converging. Slowly but surely, the circle of hunters close in on a lone figure struggling on the ground. The figure lets out a pained roar. Looking closely, you realize it's Raoul, caught in the same steel net you saw used against the scarred one. He struggles frantically, trying to break free. With each passing second, step by step, the operatives close in around him. Driven by instinct, Tamika jerks forward to save her brother. She stops herself at the last moment, as if reminded of your presence. Okay, how do we do this? They are taking him alive. So maybe we should stalk them? Is this too much pussyfooting? I don't know if she'll agree. Could be dangerous. Yeah, there's this. It's suicide. Let's try this. Look, they're taking him alive. We'll find him. We'll get him out, but right now we don't stand a chance. No, too late. Scarred one. She chokes up, swallowing the pain. You saw what they did. Fine, let's do this. Stay behind me. Just let me take the lead. Don't take any chances. She nods. Right, as if she'd listen. You move in like a 2-person SWAT team, staying low on the ground before you finally make your first move. The first 2 hunters meet their death. Unfortunately, it's enough for the others to notice your presence. So much for the element of surprise. As 2 men turn you, with their fingers already on the trigger, another 2 approach you, stabbing at the air with their cattle prods. Shit. Like, I want to do something cool, but I'm not sure I'll be able to, you know? Because, like, technically, if we take down the close combat hunters first, we can use their bodies as shield, you know? That's what I would go for. But I'm not sure the game will understand what I'm trying to do. Which is why sometimes playing these games kinda sucks, you know? And also, I don't know the positioning. I would like a map. I really would like a map. Because, like, if the gunmen are here, and the guys are here in front, and we are here, right? Then the meat shield approach is the best one. Because trying to go around the guys with the cattle prod is has a decent range. If we just try to circle around, we'll be very open to fire, and we could still get hit by the cattle prod. But if it's like the gunmen are here and the melee guys are here, right? Then these guys are more dangerous. They need to go down first. See? Yeah, we don't have a D&D battle map. Let me see. Moving like to stay. Let's see. Did they even tell the positioning? Jerks abroad. Closing around him. Okay, so they are around row. Yeah, so I think it's the first situation. We gotta take care of the close combat first. Close combat hunters first. Going for the long-hanging fruit, you engage the cattle prod wielding hunters. With some effort, you manage to avoid getting shocked, and within seconds, both your opponents lie dead on the grass. No! Pick them up! Use them as mid shields! Don't just leave them lying there. Okay. Meanwhile, Tamika does her share, as she swiftly avoids the gunfire and moves in for the kill. 4 bodies hit the ground. 2 vampires are still standing. Oh, so we were supposed to... Who attacks who? Okay, she's faster than me. It's fine. It was a good decision anyways. You both turn toward the last remaining foe, driven by sheer desperation. The sole surviving soldier stands over Raoul and aims his semi-automatic shotgun at his head. I mean, I don't think that kills a vampire. Tamika growls. You gesture at her to stand down. There's no room for mistake here. Does shotgun to the head kill vampires? I'm not even sure decapitation kills a vampire in this setting. It's mostly the sun, right? No, decapitation does kill vampires. I remember now. That's right. That's how that guy got executed in the first chapter. I guess a shotgun to the head would kill a vampire then. Okay, the guy is scared. He is trying to use, but he is also from the Second Inquisition. So the odds of him... Would he betray the Inquisition? He hasn't said anything to us. If we intimidate him, he's probably gonna shoot. If we try to persuade him, there's a chance we're setting ourselves up for failure here. Can we do this? If someone passes on you, you're gonna turn the shotgun to the attacker, no? Yeah, unless you're like really super spiteful. Yeah, it's the third one. It's the third one. A faint whisper escapes your lips and makes its way into Tamika's ear. On my mark, be ready. With shaking hands, the gunman looks at you, then Tamika, as if warning you not to come any closer. It's mostly for show. He's fucked and he knows it. You bide your time, waiting for the right moment to signal Tamika. Finally, you see an opening. A split second of hesitation. Before you can make your move, Raoul springs up, grabbing the man's gun. As they struggle, you and Tamika lunge towards the gunman. Perfect! Or not. Fucking Raoul, man. Fucking Raoul. A shot rings out. Raoul's body collapses under the weight of the steel net. His head, a gaping hole. The operative looks at you, startled and confused. His eyes widen, seeing Tamika fly towards him, death incarnate. The man's screams echo across the park. She doesn't stop, not when his intestines are spread across the grass, not when his eyes turn to bloody holes, not when his face turns to mush. Only when the screaming stops, only when it's certain that he has met his cruel end, only then does she stop. You watch in silence as she walks over to what's left of her brother. You know, I'm gonna be honest here. I don't think our choices really mattered. Because Raul was gonna be Raul anyways, right? If I tried to talk, then Raul would be like, "Oh, I got an opening," and he would do the exact same thing. If I said something like, "No, we can't," then Raul would be like, "No, I'm not gonna be a nerd," and then got shot in the head. Like fucking Raul, man, fucking Raul. Falling to her knees. Tamika lets out a yell unlike any you've ever heard. It's just as she is being possessed by some wailing spirit, a banshee screaming out into the sky. Also, in this situation, it would have been the ideal time to use the vampiric powers. I could have fogged his mind to create a larger opening for us to attack. But the option wasn't there. I think Raul was fucked, everyone. Her screams echoes across the clearing, until finally it all goes quiet. With tears streaming down her face, she looks up at you. "It's my fault. I put us in their sights. If it wasn't for me, he'd still..." Clenching her fist, she pounds to the ground in frustration. Fuck. Wow, this is cold behavior. What's done is done. Deal with it. No way. We need to get out of here. Come on, we need to get out of here. This isn't over yet. More will be coming. She gets up. A violent shiver runs through her entire body, as if she's literally trying to shrug off her despair. When she looks at you again, she seems far more clear-headed. Right. Let's get out of here. Hastily, yet carefully, you make your way out of the park. You don't stop until you reach a nearby alleyway. There, in the relative safety of the surrounding darkness, you take a moment to rest. Leaning against the wall, Tamika presses her hand onto her wound. Fighting off the pain, she looks up at you. Let's split up. Less attention. Hunters, spotters, on the rooftop. You need help. Not going anywhere. We need to get you patched up. I know a guy. We'll be fine. Knowing when it's time to fold, you nod and head towards the far end of the alley. After several steps, you look back to see how Tamika's doing. You smile, noting her absence. Having managed to get past a couple of blocks without incident, you thank your lucky stars and blend into the nightly New York crowd. And we got an achievement. She is with us now. Hopefully, Tamika's made it as well. Yay! Whew! Well, that was tense. And now we're going for an even more tense situation. You wake up. This is not your haven. It's a cramped space. You try to move your arms and find that they are tied to your body. You can barely bend your legs. When you try to stretch your neck, you hit a cold ceiling. Hey Whiskey! Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the pet. Apparently we've been buried alive. I can't quite believe it, but this is a coffin, or something close enough to it. It vibrates slightly, but you can't hear any sounds coming from outside. It's entirely dark. Buried alive is fun, right? You kick the front of the container. The only reaction's a dull metallic sound. You try using your fists, but there's just not enough room to get a good punch in. Seems pretty hopeless. Some more tries, nothing. This is bad. Suddenly, the container is moved slightly. A moment of silence. An indistinct male voice shouting, a muffled shot. Silence again. The lid comes off. What the? Too bad you won't be saved by the bell. Oh, I think I just got saved by the bell, though. We found you. Achievement, Beast Mode. Do we have them? Oh, nice! My guys are all together! Come on, get up. We gotta get going. Seeing their faces is surprising, even more so in these circumstances. However, you realize the immediate danger and follow your companions out of the car and down a street in North Bronx. The van has crashed into another car. A familiar face that has Kaiser's ghouls, Jackie, stumbles out of the wrecked sedan and slinks away into the darkness before you can call after him. The three of you jog away toward the line of the trees and take shelter under some branches, just as you hear a chopper approaching. Its searchlights illuminates the wrecked van and moves towards you. The party is gathered! I'm doing good, Whiskey, I'm doing good. How are you doing today? Really sore from the gym? Hide, now. But other than that, I'm doing fine. You see Tamika literally go underground, melding with the earth beneath her feet, as if she's being swallowed up. You look to Agathon, who seems to be fiddling with a pocket mirror. He breaks it and suddenly disappears from sight. You're left alone with just seconds to make your move before the spotlight finds you. The gym, grouse, exercise. Yeah, I don't have much of a choice. I gotta do it by doctor's orders, otherwise my back won't heal. At least it's mostly folks that don't strengthening that part, so I feel like I'm doing it with a purpose, you know? Hide behind the closest tree. Drive under a nearby bush. Seeing no better option, you find the nearest bush and dive right under it. It's probably not the best or smartest thing to do, but you have to trust your gut. The illumination passes only inches away from you, but it's just a pattern of light on the ground. The tree blocks a good portion of it. It doesn't dwell on you. It doesn't seem like they spotted you or any of your companions. The helicopter flies on, its searchlight frantically moving through the vicinity, as your companions once again appear in your proximity. Close call. Have to get out of here before the SI puts boots on the ground. What are you two doing here? Agathon, fill them in while we walk, follow me. The Second Inquisition. They raided your haven, mobilized you, and were planning on taking you to upstate to a secure facility for further examination, I'm guessing. I got that. They pulled my back a few months ago and did a bunch of stretches every day for a couple of weeks. Yeah, that kind of stuff, basically. Also, apparently, if I put some muscles in the right places, the muscles will protect my back. So I'll be able to stay on the PC longer because of that. So it's a win-win. I'm basically exercising so I can work better. Also bought one of those back supports for my computer chair since its launch. Ah, I see. I need a better chair, honestly, but the problem is I'm kinda tall, so most of the chairs are in my size. Let's put it that way. Kaiser let me know that you were in trouble. What about Sophie? Is she safe? If they hit my haven, then what about Sophie? Is she safe? How tall are you? 187 meters. That in inches is... Let me get a converter. I can never remember my own weight height in inches. Not inches, feet. Six one 6.13517. Wow, nice. Okay. So yeah, that. I spoke to the High Regent last night, and she'd probably mention if something happened to your patron. That's alright. Come on, stay low. The SI might still be around. So I guess we ended up... you're 6 centimeters taller than me. Really? Oh, that's a good height. That's a good height. My father is like a tower. He is 191 centimeters. 191 centimeters, yes. I am. I made sure to put my my height to be the same in the model, so I wouldn't forget. I have no idea how tall I am, but in school I was a short boy. Kaiser's familiar car stopped nearby, and the back doors open. Your allies usher you inside and join you. Being inside's mobile fortress has never felt like a relief until now. Oh, this guy likes me too? The hell? Damn, he's tall. He is super tall. Never could beat him in height. But I still got pretty high, but I'm still pretty high anyways. Is that how you say it? I don't think that's how you say it. Pretty tall, yes. Hey, fledgling. Hey, fledgling. Miss me? Not really, but I'm glad you're here. No, not really, but I will say this. I'm glad you're here. Well, I'm not too overly fond of breaking licks out of covered SI transport, so consider this an investment. No, I said I'm still pretty high. It doesn't sound any better. Anyways, that was a civilian transport. No convoy, nothing. Expected more resistance. What? You wanted more to sharpen those claws of yours on? Don't worry, that might still happen. You might even regret it. Things are afoot, as the adage goes. Anyway, listen up, beeps. You're here now, only because I told your buddies that you were neck deep in shit. That van you were in, a one-way ticket to Hartville, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania! I broke you out as a favor. Now you owe me. Big. Did Soph ask you to help? I heard the get. Did I? Okay, so I may have said things that I didn't meant. Was it Sophie who asked you to help me? Ha! Now that would have been rich. Sophie Langley, stooping down to ask me for help. Oh please, my adopted child is in danger. Save them, won't you, Kaiser, sir? Nah, fledgling. She didn't come calling. If she did, I'd have her bag. I'd have her do a lap dance. If the stuck-up bitch even knows what one is, and she wouldn't do that. You're worth less to her than her pride. I don't appreciate that kind of talk. Langley might be all that you're saying she is, but I won't just listen to you to disrespect a woman. Agathon is a gentleman. You better do one of your tricks and summon earplugs out of the air then, before I tell you a thing or two about your dear Aisling. When I was 21, I was a beanpole. I was 81 centimeters, but only weighted 124 pounds. That is normal. Tall people tend to not necessarily be very muscular. Don't you dare. For a moment, the atmosphere grows thick. Kaiser's hoarse laughter breaks the silence. Oh man, you must be real fun at parties. Anyway, to get us back on track. I have a good idea of why the SI hit you, Beeps. Not that there aren't a ton of good reasons for it. It might have been one of these, for instances. This is most skinny boy that is like a dating. Yeah, that won't help with growing up tall. The screens in Kaiser's cars flicker, and each of them now shows a short-looped clip. It's you, getting into a fight, feeding, using one of your powers. You haven't exactly kept a low profile, fledgling. I get it, you're new to this, but you didn't know better, yada 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 yada. The fact is that SI has tons of stuff. Security camera footage, YouTube videos posted by onlookers, social media posts from victims, you name it. Like I said it though, I don't think any of these you did you win. Slip-ups happen. The reason I need you walking and talking, Beeps, is to test a hypothesis of mine. For that, I need you to finish what you were tasked to do. So first things first. Here. He hands you a phone. The number has already been dialed. You hear the tone. Somebody picks up. Who is it? It's me, Sophie. Ames, are you okay? They're fine and dandy. Kaiser, what are you doing on this line? What do you think? It's my phone your protege is using, so keep it snappy. Operating a secure network ain't cheap. Come on now, Beeps, spit it out. I ain't got all day. I got NordVPN bills to pay. Listen, I got captured by the Second Inquisition, but I'm fine now. SI? That's what I feared. Listen, the plan. We need to do it, tonight. But if the Inquisition's involved, and you broke out, they'll be looking for you, so we can't meet in public. I have a place in mind, but... Kaiser, you still listening? Would I tell you if I wasn't? Babes, call this number from... where you visited before last we spoke. I'll come pick you up. She hangs up. And that's that. What is it that you've gotten yourself into? I'm more interested in what your next move is. Your next move is keeping your ass seated in this luxury vehicle while our mutual acquaintances continue with their night. If my intel's worth it then, your next stop, Beeps, is right about here. By the way, the Malkavian girl didn't show up. She really is a shut-in. Damn. The car comes to a stop and the doors open. Outside, you see the streets leading to Solid and Stripes, Torque's old pool pub. Well, do you need me to kick you out? This guy just has cameras everywhere. What about my companions? What about them? They're staying right where they are, and they're going to have a little chat, and we're going to have a little chat. After we're done, I'm sure they'll find their way back to their havens just fine. Clock's ticking. I think I know what Sophie wants you to do tonight. If I'm right, tonight's the last chance you got. If you want to say bye to your buddies before you go, that's fine by me. But that schedule of yours is pretty hectic, so you better do it now and scram. Thanks your companions for all the help. Thank both of your companions for their assistance. Without them, you wouldn't be here now. Kaiser makes a gagging gesture and urges you to step out of the car. You turn around and make your way to the bar. The door closes behind you and Kaiser's limo starts moving again. You hope your companions won't have to pay too high of a price for helping you. The Solids and Stripes is pretty much abandoned tonight, with only the bartender and one bleary-eyed local watching an old Bogart movie on the bar screen. Come to think of it, guys, do you think we're actually at the end of the game? This all feels very very climatic and all. Also, BRB. And back. Yeah, like the last episode of a season. It does feel that way, doesn't it? Every single thread is tying up. Thank you, Lunatic. Now, the Solid and Stripes is pretty much abandoned tonight, with the only bartender and one bleary-eyed local watching an old Bogart movie on the bar screens. You ask to use the phone and call Sophie first. Yes? I'm at the bar. Good. We'll be there in 15 minutes. If Torque's not there, notify him. We need to move, and fast. She hangs up. You tell the bartender to notify Torque, just like the Anarch leader mentioned you should. The man makes a short call. You only hear somebody picking up, but no words exchanged. The owner's on his way right now. Can you get you anything while you're waiting? Do you serve the special stuff? No, thank you. The bartender nods politely and gets back to his business. Thor comes in some 10 minutes later without Mia. He tips his hat to you, milady, puts a hand on the bleary-eyed patron's shoulder, and says something to him under his breath. They both laugh. Marty, how's the night going? Quiet, sir. Just how you like it, huh? Well, Beeves, I believe you wanted to be here for a reason. Let's hear it. Come on, at least water whiskey. Nah, I don't think they have any good alcohol here, truth be told. You're about to tell him what brought you here, when the doors to the bar open and Sophie walks in, all splendor and charisma. The patron's eyes are now glued to her, and so are the bartenders. Torque isn't happy with the sight. Well, this isn't what we agreed on, Beeves. Care to explain? We had to improvise. Things got complicated. We had to improvise. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I believe Beeves already told you why I'm here. Not in detail, and the circumstances of our meetings were supposed to be different. So, Miss Langley, tell me why I shouldn't ask you to leave and kick out your protege while I'm at it. You will like what I have to say. Yeah, I heard the line 100 times, but 99 of those ended with somebody getting hurt, and that's not something I'm in the mood for tonight. We are wasting time. There's a unique opportunity we should discuss, take advantage of, and we only have an hour to do so. Before there'll be time to act. My driver is waiting outside. Wait a goddamn minute. First of all, I'm not going anywhere without Mia, and that was the deal. Second, it's Beebs who was supposed to do the driving, not your servant. Both serve me, so really it's little difference. The circumstances changed, and we had to adapt. Don't be stubborn. Foolishness does not suit you. I have a secure spot in mind where we can talk. I'll stop you right there. Torque is seething, but he's keeping a lid on his anger. His voice barely changes. My conditions were clear. The way I hear it, you want to break each one of them. I see no reason at all to agree to any of this. I believe it will be staying put tonight. You have places to be, yes? Torque, you're throwing away the only chance you have at challenging Callahan. Don't be a fool. The lid comes off. Call me a fool one more time, woman, and that's not the only thing I'll be throwing. You're both acting like children, I say to the murderous vampires before me. Come on, guys, let's compromise. You're both acting like children. You need to put your differences aside and see the other's point of views. Both Sophie and Torque glare at you. No powers, just their personas are enough to make you feel like you prefer to be anywhere else but here. See, my angle is, if they're both mad at me, they can stop being mad at each other for a second. Who the fuck do you think you are? There is only one child here, Beeves. You're their patron, Langley. What does that tell us? What are you implying, you insolent? Shot breaks from the front window, and a flashbang goes off in the room, changing the bars into a space of white light and ringing noise. You feel somebody tugging at your back and are thrown behind the bar. More shots, more shots behind the ring. Bottles break. The TV shatters into pieces. The wooden bar splinters. That vintage whiskey they had behind the back is now ruined forever. Your sight comes back, but you think you've gone deaf, because suddenly the room is silent. You see Torque beside you, and Marty the bartender, bleeding out on the floor. You look over the bar. Sophie is standing there, her dress partially tattered, a visible hole in her leg. She is like the heart of a supernova, entrancing, unavoidable, beautiful and terrifying. In front of her are 8 operatives, looking like a private military force just standing there, paralyzed by Sophie's magnificence. Torque, you still here? Yeah. Would you kindly show your guests some hospitality? Sure thing. The anarchy is gone in the blink of an eye, and there reappears the next to one of the soldiers. Oh no, he teleports behind you and tips his hat a lot. The armor-clad operative heads disappear in a puff of blood and bone. Same thing happens to the second, the third. You hear the radios go off to the other soldiers' shoulders. A panicked voice pleading them to wake up. The fourth head pops, the fifth. They finally realize what's happening, but it's too late. The sixth man is beheaded by what you now see is just Torque's bare-fisted punch. Torque stops by the seventh man, rips something off his neck and bites down. Sophie walks over to the last man and has him kneel in front of her before biting as well. On your right, a man in full armor emerges from the back door, raising his assault rifle. What the fuck? Teleports behind you. What is this? Oh no. It's not smart, but it's what your instinct tells you to do. You jump in front of the soldier just as he pulls the trigger. Bullets sink into your body, ripping and tearing your flesh, each projectile a micro-bomb exploding inside you. A combat knife crashes through the soldier's visor in his skull. You turn around. Torque is grinning. He mouths something under his breath. Langley? Sophie wipes her mouth of blood and looks at him. Is that meeting still an item? Yes. I'll take it. Splendid. Torque walks behind the bar and checks the bartender. You see the anarch open his own wrist and feeds the blood to the wounded man. Drink up, Marty. It'll make you feel better. Now I kinda wanna make a Rick and Morty reference for some reason. Drink up, Marty. It'll make you feel better. Get the hell out of here and wait for Mia. She's coming and she'll know what to do. Torque? Yeah, coming. Take the back door, Beeps. Come on. You slink back into an alley behind the bar, leaving 10 bodies and one grievously wounded ghoul behind. Nobody stops you from circling around the block and finding your way to the Sophie's car. Gregory drives away casually, as if this was just another late-night drive, and not the crowning of a desperate, complicated evening. Soph brings you to a luxurious apartment in Manhattan's Upper West Side. The way she explains it, the vampires who owned it left the city a few years ago and gave away spare keys to a few trusted compatriots. It's been used sporadically since. Fancy. You like it? It always felt too modern for my tastes. But what's important is that it is secured. As long as nobody followed your car over here, or the fledgling trouble follows this one whenever they go. Even if that's the case, we have very little time to conduct our business here anyway. We'll be leaving soon, I hope, so let us begin. I'm going to shut my trap. You look at Sophie excitedly. Time to get back to work. I'll see you around. Nice seeing you, Kiba. Alright, Whiskey, have a good one. Bye-bye. Have a good time at work. You look at Sophie excitedly. Finally, you'll learn what it is that you've been working towards for more than a week, and what it is that Kaiser wanted you to participate in. I have on good authority that Boss Callahan is a blood-bound to Prince Penhard. Torque sucks air in loudly. That's an accusation and a half there, Langley. You got him proof? No, but we're just a boat ride away from getting it. What is that supposed to mean? I mean, as best as possible, right? We'll be raiding McDonald's in 30 minutes. It was out to raid a day McDonald's. Sophie looks very seriously at him. I have a plan. We're gonna do a flash mob, and we are going to floss at McDonald's. Dun dun! Beeps, the address that I procured from Kaiser was at the meeting spot from Panhardt's and the Baron's regular sharing of blood and other bodily fluids, if the rumors are true. Wink, wink, wink. Wait, Kaiser knew about this? Is there anything that insufferable clump of dead skin doesn't know in the city? He knows things, but only shares them if you pay. Neither the prince nor Callahan can touch him. He's too useful. Kaiser said saving me was in his interest. Kaiser said something about having plans for me, that he wanted me to make the meeting happen. That can't be good, right? That is an interesting point. I think Kaiser might be as interested in shaking up the status quo as we are. A chaotic landscape makes for a great market for him, unlike a static one. I don't like praying to that creep's hand, but at least I know now that I'm doing it. The devil you know, and all that. What's the address he gave you? They meet regularly on Ellis Island. In fact, their next scheduled meeting starts in just around half an hour. Hot damn, I guess you want to crash that meeting. Why? So you can see the proof for yourself. So that I can make sure, too. And so that I can have an extra pair of eyes for Panhard to consider when I present to her my ultimatum. The prince must abandon her seat and leave New York City. She can go wherever she pleases, but if she stays, an entire court will be known, and the next prince might not look favorably on her past. Dealing with anarchs, especially so close, is a punishable offense in the Camarilla, as I'm sure you've heard. So I did. Torque strokes his beard and looks intently at Sophie. And I'm here wondering, why would anyone want to fuck mutton chops back there? What exactly are you trying to accomplish here? Say you remove Panhard, and I even remove Callahan. Then what? Torque, did you ever wonder why Callahan is keeping you in check? Because I wonder why the prince condemns anarchs during her visit to Elysian, but doesn't allow the Ivory Tower to challenge you. She, or they, have engineered this status quo for not the good of their sects, but for a private gain. They keep us all in line because it lets them hold on to power that much longer. And your goal is what? Are you make this Cold War turn hot? Not a great plan. You chemists will get your butt kicked out of New York City in no time. If you anarchists manage to organize, which I doubt you will, at any rate, it's a risk I'm willing to take. I don't stand alone in this. This entire operation has been years in the making. Torque, I'm offering you a chance to square things with Callahan and level the playing field. If we get rid of these two, we can start on equal footing on the next stage of this dance macabre. How do I factor into this plan? Yes, we will be taking you with us to Ellis Island, both as another set of eyes to witness the Prince and Baron in the act, and as a bit of added security. We need you to hold the can while we record the sex tape. I don't think Helene or Callahan would dare to lay a finger on me, but they will not find me unprepared. You know, after all the years spent in Callahan's shadow and taking part in all the kindred dick measuring contests, I should expect a ruse, some ploy to kill me in an out-of-the-way place. That's our inherent paranoia talking. My gut's telling me this time it's to get the show started. I do hope you have a boat nearby, Langley. Sophie smiles mischievous. Of course I do. It's waiting for us by the pier. Lead the way then, moonlight's burning. It's high moon, partner. The three of you leave the apartment and walk toward the pier. Nobody seems to be following you. You get on a small patrol boat and double time it through the Hudson's cold, dark waters. Out of the places in New York City where the Prince and the Baron could meet, it's Allies Island, a landmark with a dark past. A museum on one hand, a dilapidated piece of history on the other. You leave the boat and make your way to the southern part of the island, paying no heed to the renovated tourist attractions on the southern side. You expected some resistance, a night guard, a helicopter flying overhead, or maybe the NYPD patrol boat. Nothing. The island seems completely deserted. It is clear this sets Sophie's on edge. She's moving as quietly and as subtly as ever, but you can see that she's eager to reach the particular house her intel pointed out to. Torque is following suit, grimly determined, flashing his piercing gaze all over, still clearly uncertain that this isn't some kind of con. Finally you see it, light coming from a window in one of the buildings at the edge of the island. The three of you slowly creep closer to the building and take a look inside the window. There it is, Callahan, kneeling in front of the prince, sucking on both fully clothed, a small blessing. Penhard's wrist. Her wrist, guys! It's just her wrist, it's okay. Torque makes his move, and before Sophie can stop him, he busts through the building's door. It all happens very quickly. Torque grabs Callahan by the shoulder and throws him through the still open door. Callahan hits the ground hard. Torque appears on top of him and starts punching. You fucker, you piece of shit! Stop! The prince's voice takes hold just for long enough to make Torque's grip relent, which the Baron uses to the fullest. He shoves Torque off himself and tries to bite down. Prince, call off your lapdog. Langley, what is the meaning of this? The two anarchs break apart, both wounded, but neither is quite done yet. They look at one another with pure hatred. Kill the bitch, Helene, but leave the fledgling to me. Right after I deal with this shit stain, I'm gonna... A shrill, unpleasant laugh fills the air. You know who it belongs to. So entertaining, truly. It feels almost a shame to break up the spectacle, but alas. Thomas? Who the fuck is this joker? Ah, yes, I don't think we met, though. I did hear a lot about you, Mr. Torque. My name is Thomas Arturo, and I... Callahan uses this moment of uncertainty to strike. He's still too slow for Torque, who throws the balls onto the lawn, where the two exchange blows once again. Ahem, Helene, if you'd be so kind to ask your friend not to hurt our guest too much. Callahan, don't kill him! This time, Callahan comes out on top and grabs Torque in an iron hold. Your companion struggles, but can't quite break away. I will not be denied, Helene, not this time. You will do as I command. And she will do as I command her, Douglas, old boy. What? Like I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. I feel like I need to break up this little spectacle. It's been going on for too much long. You think you're so smart, Langley. You think your clique figured out that there was something fishy going on your own. But you were always working with just a piece of the puzzle. Wasn't she? Beebs? Dun dun dun! Sophie looks at you, shocked and disappointed. What are you talking about, Arturo? What I'm talking about, you ask? You fledgling, you don't know, how could you? Only I knew, and your sire, of course. They're the ones who agreed to embrace you after some negotiations. You hear a scream and a curse. It's Callahan. Those arms have been nearly ripped off his body. Torque breaks out the Baron's grasp, but doesn't continue the attack. Instead, he's at the edge of the water in the blink of an eye and disappears into the Hudson. The only trace left of him is his fedora. That's all that's left. Oh no! He will always be remembered by the fedora he wore, that he always tipped it for the ladies. And he always teleported behind you. Another actor is going off the strip to the very end, huh? No matter. Let his bring us some amusement now that the production is almost wrapped up. He'll reach his allies. He'll tell everyone of this. Helene, even if we naively assume his nights are numbered, now that he's in the SI sides, this show must go on one way or another. Want her to encourage leaks and speculations. Sophie looks at you. How could you, Beebs? I saved you! Arturo suddenly appears next to her and slaps her in the face. Langley, 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 what happened to your self-esteem? You can't really think a simple neonate has outplayed you, or maybe this oblivious act is your way of groveling for mercy? Thomas? What? You thought that being an expert chess player would always be enough. You never realized that people at the top simply flip the chessboard over and punch you in the face whenever they don't like where the game is going. He motions to the remaining kindred. But the thing is, you weren't even adept at playing the game you knew, Beebs. Just another pawn, placed on the board by my associate. You thought they were your piece since you took them in. But who gave you that idea? You return to the night where you were judged by Prince Penhard. The woman in red, Sophie. Somebody speaking to her. A man in glasses. The man standing before you now. This is cruel. We'll know what's going to happen. If only somebody would speak up for the poor child. They could be a useful tool for the Camarilla. Terror creeps into Sophie's face. Of course, those are not the words you heard, were they? No, they were already grasping for some opportunity to further your scheme. I put the bait out and you took it. Hook, line and sinker. After that, it was only a matter of time before you started using Beebs as your errand girl. No one is quite as easy to track and monitor as naive fledgling who's just learning the ropes. What is it that you want, Thomas? What do I want? Oh boy, the answer's so simple, but so hard to put into words. Yes, I'll have a large fries with quarter pound and cheese, please. Extra ketchup. Hop to it. Unstable stability. Cutting-edge tales of thrills and intrigues that push you to the limit, and then return you to the tried and tested status quo. Gently, infallibly. A system full of distractingly moving parts which simulate conflict so convincingly that its user never feel a need to direct their energy towards upsetting the system. Achieving the eternal through the disposable, building a city that's like a ship of the seals, constantly changing its parts, yet always maintaining the same purpose, serving the same goal at all times. A large-scale infrastructure that has something like an exhaust system for the spirit, something that disperses the toxicity around instead of concentrating in a single place. Really, they're my favorites! Oh, that's sad, lunatic. They're good. They're kind of like the regular hamburger, but they're bigger. Therefore, they incorporate the hamburgerness, you know? And by the way, McDonald's in Brazil tastes better than in the US from what I hear from the stories. But anyways, back to vampires. None of what you're saying makes the slightest bit of sense. God damn it, Sophie, have you never played Metal Gear Solid? I want the Patriots! Arturo is momentarily stopped in his tracks. He stares into the sky for a few seconds before a sad grin reappears on his face. Spoken like someone who's never really played Metal Gear Solid and doesn't really have what it takes to make it into the big leagues. We don't have the 1 quarter pound burgers here either. We had the 1/3 pound burgers, but they didn't sell well. Oh really? I heard a curiosity about the quarter pound and the 1/3 pounder. That people wanted the quarter pounder because they thought it had more burger than the 1/3 pounder because they sucked at math in the US. By the way, in Portuguese it's called a quarteirão, which means a street block, oddly enough. With a theatrical snap of fingers, he gives his last sentence a sense of finality. Something's changing there. Also, I love our string. We are in the climax of the big vampire visual novel, and we're talking about hamburgers. And I don't regret it a little bit. I'm hungry. You could swear you saw a shadow move behind Sophie. Goodbye, Sophie. Burgers are good. They are. A person appears behind Sophie. You can't believe your eyes. It's Adelaide Davis. Who? Holding garden shears in her hands. It was Adelaide Davis with the garden shears behind the garden. You know what? Fuck it, I'm trying. Adelaide, stop! Oh no. Also, did you know that if you ground all the humans in a bowl of meat, it can fill the Central Park in New York? Wow, that's an interesting knowledge. You hear the shear snip. Frick. Sophie's red hair conceals her face as her head falls, separated from her shoulders. Silence. Artura's unpleasant laughter erupts right next to you. Oh, Beebs, your career is moving at a breakneck pace. Moving up, 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 and up. Let me congratulate you on your promotion. What do you want from me? What's the rush? I was about to get to that. Helene, feel free to leave us and take the Baron with you. Thomas, I don't think you should. Shush, you're being jealous, Adelaide. Escort the prince and dear old Douglas, please. Sure thing, darling. Oh, frick, that was my stalker. That was my fucking stalker. You are left alone next to Sophie's body. You try not to look, but it's hard to ignore her little frame decomposing in front of your eyes. Congratulations! You've won this little game! You set out on a suicidal mission and successfully brought down the power-hungry wannabe tyrant, even if it probably wasn't the way you imagined it. Now you're free to enjoy paradise again, life after death, immortality, eternal youth. What they don't tell you is, of course, living paradise is inherently sinful when not everyone can partake. But you have time to learn how to live with sin, don't you? He takes a melancholic look at the city skyline surrounding him, the Statue of Liberty, and the lights of Manhattan shimmering in the distance. You know, New York taught me to believe in fate. My unlife began right here, and it began with utter despair. My first instinct was to drown myself in books and keep reading and reading until literature gave me a piece of wisdom. I need to go on. Did you know that if you had a mole on moles, it would make a meatball the size of the moon? Eh? I don't understand that I don't think I understand that sentence well, lunatic. Personally, I find reading a silly hobby in retrospect. I always had this minuscule hope that the next sentence I'd read could finally bring me salvation. But it never did. It only gave me fuel for this elevated righteous intellectual suffering. I'm so much better than all these authors. But the more I read, the easier it was for me to boil down every paragraph, down to a power relationship, the characters' influence over each other, the writer trying to impress the reader, etc. A mole is a unit of measurement. Ah, that mole. Okay. I wasn't sure because, I learned these in Portuguese. You know? So, the chemical measurement unit, right? The strings that everyone pulls started to look like strands that weave into the fabric of fate. And when I saw its beauty, I got teary-eyed. My architect instincts kicked into overdrive. I didn't have to submit to fate. All I had to do was cooperate with it and wait for my time to shine, give my input where needed, until I trusted me to do more. Thomas steps over what's left of Sophie, wiping his glass with an elegant cloth from his pocket. And it did! Fate let me know that after this city, With my architect's tools, I started quietly shaping the streets and corridors, while Kaiser and his ilk shaped the information flow. And among many tools this process gave me, one of them was a way to reliably come up with useful agents like you. The methods I used were crude at the time, but the route was there. All you had to do was follow it. Some people write rulebooks passages, the other plan city arteries. In the end, the fact is the same. Someone always follows. He puts on the glasses and gives you a long, hard look. You know, I have grown fond of you. You did so well. Even when that idiot Callahan tipped the Inquisition off, you still got out. I like that kind of resourcefulness, young woman. I could use that kind of resourcefulness. He uncovers his wrist. So, take my blood. Just enough so we can start off on the right foot as a sign of good faith. A sign that you're ready to plan the big leagues. Ready to behold the sights that prepare for you. What do you say, babes? Oh, it just ends. And it just fucking ends. We finished the game, guys. We actually finished. Holy crap. I thought this game was going to like go off for like... Yeah, it's over. It's fucking over. Damn. Okay. Okay. That happened. We finished the game. And we got like 15 minutes to spare. What do you say? Did you take the deal? Years? I have no idea what happened, but stuff happened. I mean, isn't that how vampires act though? Man, but I'm feeling betrayed. The Malkovian girl didn't even show up to save us. I mean, she's a neat, but still. Man. So yeah, I guess this game has different endings. So the thing is, do I even have a choice? Let's be honest here. Would I even have a choice? This guy is like, I am the ultimate planner architect of 1,000 webs of intricacy and whatnot. If I don't take the deal, do you think he just lets me walk away? No fucking way. Like I'm screwed either way. Okay, finally back. Welcome back to the end of the game, Momochi. How are you doing today? No dice. Yes, that, but slower. I came to credits. Wow, Falv, you really like credits. Badum-tsh. Yeah, so... Game over. I bet this has different endings. But we're not gonna go through them. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. And this is a lot. So yeah, everyone, this was Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York. Why don't we have some time. We have like Bonkas who told you. You fell just now. You said you came. The game ends. I mean, I already did that, lunatic. It just ended sooner than I expected. But yeah. So, we got like 10 minutes. Maybe we'll take a moment to appreciate the game. I really wish this game had like a gallery. That would be cool. But yeah, so let's review the plot. The plot is like the Camarilla. There's the Camarilla, and there is the Anarchs, and apparently the Anarchs are the good guys in this. If you wanna pick a side. Because the Camarilla is into some weird Illuminati shit. They're like... This was like 5D Illuminati chess, you know? Joke's on you. I can't eat nuts till my guns heal. Ow. Hope you get better soon, Felv. You had a rough time at the dentist, I know. So we got embraced by a vampire that didn't take us in. That was a masquerade breach, but it was an artificial masquerade breach. Come to think of it, it was pretty convenient how the sheriff knew our location and came to get us. Technically speaking, that was because this was our setup, right? And the Thomas guy apparently is up higher than the prince. So technically I think he is the actual prince and the current prince is like a puppet of sorts. And he joined with another vampire from the anarchist side to create a sort of weird balance because the anarchist and the Camarilla are at war with each other. So he created like a false war, so to speak, where both sides are actually together in bed, and they feel just enough conflict to keep people too busy to realize what's really going on, that everyone's being played, but not enough conflict that the masquerade is actually breached. So everything's being architected by the mastermind and all that, and we were just a tiny vampire that got caught up in all of that. Hooray! Plots, intrigues, not really doing anything very significant because the NPCs all steal the spotlight from you. Fun! So I get their plan was to use my own ineptitude against me to track me to get to Langley, and they did. And to get to the Fedora guy ran away, but they wanted to off him too, I guess. And they got what they wanted, and the real enemy was that one guy I talked to at the art gallery that one time and never fucking again. What a freaking plot twist. I could barely remember he even was a character in this game. Amazing. Truly, truly amazing. Other than that, game's fun. I thought that twist was a little bit... because like I said, didn't really had any chance to talk to this character. It isn't even really fair to... in the sense that, whoa, what a plot twist that you never saw it coming. Yeah, no shit, I never saw it coming. Like, he just wasn't there. You see, he was just that good at covering his tracks. You don't know he exists. Yeah, he's like I am a side character and I don't appear in the plot at all. So that was a little bit... don't like that too much. I guess it makes sense, and there's definitely sequels, though I'm not sure how this plays out with the different choices we could have made, how they would work exactly. But overall, really good writing, aside from the big plot points. I like the way they characterize the characters. I like every bit, every quirk. The characters that I met felt fairly unique. It was really good. Really good characterization. And I never really played. Ignore the author going, how do I plot twist? Let me grab this random smart-ass looking guy. Yes, totally. He was behind that all along. Yeah. You know, that's kind of how it felt. But I guess he's supposed to be a big player in the other visual novels. So this is one of many games. This is the one that starts it. So I guess if we play another game of the series and we might see Thomas hanging out in the back room, and we're gonna be like, oh no, not this fucker again. So maybe that's why. Maybe this is set up for more. Not gonna Hey Kaiser, welcome to the stream. We finished Vampire the Masquerade. Coteries of New York. How are you doing? Also, Kaiser, I have to talk to you about something on Discord later. I'm not sure I'll be able to. Oh, really? Oh yeah, so I'm not sure I'll be able to play Factorial with you today because there has been some. Yeah. Now, I don't want to worry anyone about this too much. It's just that there has been some, how do you call them, manifestations? Yes, manifestations that are happening sorta close to where I live, and they have been very noisy, and they keep using fireworks for some reason. I don't know. I guess it's like a signal for when they take breaks or whatever. And the fireworks are scaring my dog. So I have to stop early to take care of her. My mother has been helping me, but I won't be able to get uninterrupted hours on the PC basically. So streaming is a no-go tonight. Okay, don't worry. All right, sorry again. I was looking forward to it, by the way, but it's being kind of weird. So yeah. Also, don't worry, Lunatic. I think I can still work on your commission tonight. It's just I'll have less hours basically. I got a new dog also. Oh, that's so good to hear. Oh, does it have a what does it look like? Does it have a breed? Is it a Is that a polite word? Is that a polite word for mixed race, mixed breed? Also play Factorio? Nice too. Guys, I mostly do what Kaiser tells me to do. Honestly. I'm trying to understand what's going on. It's been a mixed bag as far as success goes. I posted on my Discord. Oh, let me take a look. I wanna see. I wanna see the doggo. Where's the doggo at? Oh, I want to see it. Where did you put it? Is it in the lobby? Oh, you DM'd me. Thank you. Oh, so cute. Oh, Black Shepherds. I love them. Oh, that actually reminds me kind of a sad story. Oh no. I almost had a dog that looked like this. Almost had a dog that looked like this. My mother was going to get me a dog for Christmas. And she was preparing a dog just like this for me. But then the dog died. So she bought me a poodle. The dog caught that disease that kills the puppy if the that the breeder isn't very good, you know. And it died just before Christmas. And she hurried to get a new dog, and she bought a black poodle that stayed with me for 8 to 10 years. He had a few health issues. Yes. Yeah. Well, that's even sadder than this game. Sorry. I also had a dog that suffered from seizures. The vet told us that we should sacrifice it. We said no. We got seizure medicine, and he lasted 15 years. We just needed to make sure that to always have uh, honey on hand because he would sometimes start to get the seizure. By the way, honey, if you have trouble with seizures, honey actually helps calm down. Yeah, I didn't though. Don't worry. Yeah, the pup was 1 year old. He started having seizures, and the vet we took him to said, "Oh, do you want to sacrifice it then?" And I'm like, "No, no, no." My cousin's dog gets seizures. It oops makes me glad. Canine dogs are screened a lot for hereditary health issues. So yeah, we managed to give that dog a really long and cozy life with lots of honey and lots of love. And medicine. That's important too. And now we have Lila, who, apart from having a little bit of some stomach issues, is ultra mega healthy and likes to bully me. I get bullied by my dog sometimes. It's fine. Anyways, everyone, it's time to go. I hope you all enjoyed this game. It was one hell of a confusing plot, but I liked it. I really liked it. And now, for those of you who aren't leaving already, we're gonna raid someone as soon as I can decide who it is. Let's see. We have... Ooh, we got Boschke playing Cyberpunk. Yeah, let's go. Boschke raid. I'm saying her name right, aren't I? Thanks for the stream. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a good one. Catch you guys next week. I think we're going back on Monday. I'm not sure. I have to see with Momochi. Because I think the Syndicate wants to make more collabs on Monday. Not sure. But anyways. Bye-bye. Have a good one.